us what to do. Welcome! I'm so glad you made it to the Isle of Roux.
With the family,
Here with Jessica and Rich Roux.
I just want to share the link, and I'm wondering why I'm not seeing the, what's it called?
It is 35.
Oh, there we go. That should be it.
So we are going live.
35.
Live on 35. We're going live on Instagram, on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, all these good places. And I will begin with the land acknowledgement to acknowledge where we are here, but you guys may be in millions of different places. So that is lovely. The Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on Mohkinstsis is the ancestral territory of this Siksika Sitapi, the Siksika, the Gaina, the Piikani, and the Amskapi Piikani. We acknowledge all First Nations and Métis of Treaty 7 lands, the Tsuut'ina, the Ithkabé, which includes Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. We commit to advancing reconciliation guided by truths, respecting treaty laws, and humbly walking alongside First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. We recognize all who live, work, play, and make art on these lands and who now call this place home. And Rich was showing me the funny opening scene. And I feel like this thing always does me dirty on all of the opening scenes, and it's hilarious. But we're just going to laugh about it and not get upset. Also, I noticed that my straps are really close to my skin tone, and then it's like,
Don't do that.
I'm trying to.
No, you're good.
Everything's fine. Okay.
We got a person with us.
That is so nice.
Isn't that nice?
Guess what? My
chicken butt.
Mom, where are you watching from? Mom was watching. They're still on vacation. And can I show you something? This is super fun. So, St. Pierre and Miquelon is it's France, but it's Canada. So it says, Bonjour from St. Pierre in France. What a unique country we have. Such a wonderful experience to share with Aaron and Jason. So my brother and sister got to explore there too. Miss you all. Really wish you were here. Love you, Jesse, Rich, and Felix. From Mom.
Very nice.
It's so cute. And then look at the stamp. We have to save that. It is so pretty.
So that works.
It's probably the gloss. Do you think?
No, because it.
Oh, there. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Perfecto.
So that's one piece of mail we got. Guess what? Every time Rich and I go to the mailbox together, there's nothing. And then when I go by myself quickly and run in, there's a
package,
a key, and it's like, and postcards and everything. Should I grab it now or later? Mail segment.
Let's just try calling Margot.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Margot. Okay, here we go.
This is so fun. Is that a military base? St. Pierre de Miquelon. There are a lot of cannons.
I don't know where this is going to go to.
I am working on embroideries of neurotransmitters.
Neurotransmitters.
And I'm going to watercolor the canvas.
I got your speaker.
Hello.
Oh,
hi.
Okay.
We're live.
Hey.
Can you see us?
We're live on what? I cannot see you.
We're on the Isle of Roux.
But we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all those things. And we got your package today.
Oh, I hope you liked it.
We haven't opened it. We wanted to have you with us.
Do you want to join us online or just on the phone?
I think like this. Is this okay, Margot, if we open it with you?
Of course, I would love that. I'm just setting up for my class tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
My classes are on with these now, so.
Oh, that's exciting. Awesome. I love seeing what you've been making. Everything has been very good. We are just having our first day with all the kids tomorrow. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we've had some of the kids. So tomorrow we're having like all of the kids. How about you? How's your year starting?
We just started yesterday, and we had all the high school. I think the elementary was nobody was in for a full day, so it was just half days yesterday.
Nice.
And then today, I got to run the welcome in, and it was lovely. It was real lovely. We had a great day. We had our first annual Weird Awards, which is a situation we're starting up where the kids get to they get to compete to see who had the weirdest experience for the summer.
I love
Can I
that.
tell you two joys? One is I get to read the Valley Voice. And two,
Rich is excited to read the newspaper.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is. It's pretty provincial. It's pretty interesting. It comes out every other week, and there are some serious opinions in there. But shipping pottery, everything breaks. I don't know how people do it but he's still there.
Oh yeah, sorry,
I'm reading the paper.
Rich
sorry,
is
I can't
slowly
stop
just
myself.
opening up the paper. Just while Rich is slowly reading the paper and opening it, Mom's joining from Halifax, Keith Anderson's joining us, and Farnaz is joining us. And no, we're not on strike yet, Farnaz. And Rich found oh my gosh.
Can I tell you something?
Margot, it's beautiful.
Can I tell you something? I have such high standards and such high expectations of you that when we knew you were sending us something, I was like, I will not be surprised by this. Like, unfortunately, I know how grand you are, and there's no way to surprise me, but I am blown away. I feel like, is this a cup or a bowl?
Well, there's two things in there.
This one's green.
There's more.
Is
I'm
it?
not sure what you opened. What did you open?
Well, if you're online, you can see that it's got a landmass and two nipples and some fences and a green sky.
It's blues and greens. It's like oceans and waters with the stripes, vertical stripes at the top.
Oh, that's it.
And she's gone.
Oh no, did we lose you?
I was gonna.
Here.
It is the most world-class
hear you.
piece I've seen in my own hands. That's the honest truth.
Well, thank you. That is very sweet of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is one of my favorites. That is one of three. There were four. I broke it just as I glazed it. It was an accident, of course. But there was only four of them, and they've been sitting in my studio, and I owned for 4 years, and I just glazed it about a month ago.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it is one of my favorites.
What a gift.
Yeah, I've got a shelf in my studio that's only for me. So that one was for Rich, and the other one is for Jess.
Oh, I see it.
What an amazing post! This is so delicate, it's completely perfect.
What's a bowl or the little dish?
The dish with the flowers is so beautiful. Oh.
Well, I'm really glad you guys liked them. So it made me very happy to make art for you guys. I make art for stores and I make art for me, but I don't make it for people specifically very often. So it made me happy to make you guys things. I'm really glad you like them.
That is so sweet. Thank you. What a treat. Thank you so much, Margot. I hope you have a great class tonight too.
I'm going to. It's going to be lovely. We're making fairy doors, and I never know who's coming. And just like, honestly, it feels like I'm paying homage to Rumble House. And just because it's on a Wednesday, which I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I talked to Rich. And it's just lovely because I never know who's going to be here, and I never know what they're going to make. So it feels familiar.
That is so perfect.
It's really lovely. It is pretty good. Okay, well, I've got to go and get stuff set up, so I will talk to you guys again. Yeah. I'm actually in Calgary in October, so I'll connect with you guys when we come down.
Awesome. Please do. We'll talk to you soon then.
You betcha. Thanks. Have a great night.
Bye, you too. Bye.
Bye.
That is so fun. Oh my God. Okay. So, Farnaz, first of all, I'm so glad you found us online, everybody, and because we ran into Farnaz on the bridge. And thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Farnaz. We're so grateful for all of the support that people show to teachers, because there's so much like misinformation and like the gaslighting is crazy. And Rich is so calmly, I get very swept up in like, can you believe they said that, blah, and he's like, you can't do anything about it, and he texted
Well,
me.
that's not what I say.
No,
but
he said, don't let the bastards get you down. And
Yeah.
then, and because like
you can do things about it.
you could do things about, but
you can't change it.
You can't change
You
it.
can do all kinds of things
And
about it.
also, it's like what you said is like they just want a rise out of you, so they're saying these ridiculous
They are
things.
trying to get a rise out of us.
And they are getting a rise, but you know, it's okay sometimes. It's all, everything will be okay. Thank you, Fernaz, and thank you everyone for that support too. So we're currently going to class tomorrow, and we're just waiting. So it's a kind of weird feeling for sure, right? Like because it's the start of the year, and then you're kind of thinking like, when will we get that notice? And we got an email today.
I haven't given it one thought.
Saying,
and people keep asking me, and I usually just say to them, I haven't given it one thought.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I almost drank?
Indigo.
Indigo.
Oh my
so
goodness.
like when you drink the paint water and you just like, bleh. If I drank the indigo, I would have blue teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Did Marco also make
Yeah,
this?
Marco said that.
What a multifaceted artist.
Yeah.
I should be careful when I open these because it might be like, bong. This we'll put in a frame.
So beautiful.
Oh, those go in the book.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So what a beautiful way to
Alright
start
then.
tonight.
What should I paint?
I'm painting neurotransmitters.
Mm-hmm.
You are. What have we been talking about? We've done so much.
So much.
This week.
I can't talk about the things I've been talking about.
No, I mean like.
No, I know what you're saying, but like I've been going down the rabbit hole.
What about even right now? Like the idea of
The
neurotransmitters,
my pendulum,
pendulums, love and protection bubbles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Serotonin.
Mm-hmm. We were talking a little bit about the curriculum for the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And did we skip the curriculum last week or did we continue with it?
I kind of think we
Could watch it and find out.
continued a little bit.
Is it like a little quiet with our guests joining us? Did the link not work? Or like, because there's people with us.
No, Mom used the link. Actually, Mom
Right.
was like, oh, now I know how to do it. Because she said, Dad's watching a movie, so I don't want to go online. But because they're in the hotel room in Halifax.
Gotcha.
But
when did you start reading? Like reading like really connected, like really.
Skellig I read Skellig when I was in junior high, I think. And it was a shorter book. So I was able to keep up because I was also a slow reader.
Yeah.
But it was about an angel.
Yeah.
In a garage.
Mm.
And I really loved that book.
Why do I feel like I know that name? Did you read it to Felix?
I might have.
Or did you start talking about it with Felix and he didn't like it?
It's a hard one to explain to people because like an angel in a garage might sound kind of like, what are you talking
One of my favorite books is about an ape in a cage talking to a man about philosophy.
What is it called? No.
What is it called? I don't know. I can't remember. Ishmael?
Ishmael.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, paint high rises for Narcissus.
I'll paint a high rise. 100%. Are you going to stick around so you can see it?
That would
Send
be
me
easy delivery.
Do you want to paint a painting from a high rise, or would you like to paint a painting of a high rise? Because actually, we can show you some high rises right now, just simply by
careful!
opening our curtains. There's some high rises right there. Was that intelligible?
Yeah,
Did
totally.
You said, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could understand. I was
Fernand,
just
send me a photograph of the high rise you'd like, and I'll paint it.
So for now, what we've been doing is we've been painting and then mailing out artwork.
Except from like you're closer than the mailbox. So.
That's what I mean. It would be like that would be a really easy.
Or maybe like tied. Maybe tied with the mailbox.
Like we could either go left or right.
I was talking to some kids in my class today about, not today, actually probably last June, but I was talking about like when I started to read. I really wasn't reading so much because I wanted to know what was in the book when I started reading. Want to know why I started reading?
Why?
Because I like the thought of being a guy with a book bag.
Mm.
Isn't that weird? Like that was the kind of person I wanted to be the kind of person that sat in cafes and read books.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit hyper, so I had a hard time reading. But I wanted that. That was the identity I kind of like had wanted to embody.
Yeah. And, I love that. Like,
yeah,
I do, because I understand making choices based on a persona you want to be.
Right.
Right.
It wasn't superficial.
Oh, that's so nice, Vanessa.
We will come for dinner. Are you sending a picture though? Right now, I'm just painting me as a young man reading in a cafe.
But he usually finishes like 5 or 6 paintings in a night. So, so send photos.
Do you know that when I'm feeling overwhelmed, one of my reoccurring themes is to self-soothe. I will paint a cafe, and it's not the cafe I worked in because that was stressful to try and relax in, right? Like,
yeah,
I worked at Jambo Java, and when I wanted to be left alone, this is how I ended up going to Beano. And Beano wasn't really like back then. It wasn't quite the destination it is now. It was more like just a quiet spot that was kind of downtown and not too out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go to Cafe Beano because I didn't work there. And so, and then as it became like kind of a hipster kind of cool spot to show up, it's funny because between Cafe Beano and, I wish I could remember the other place. Because Jambo Java was on 16th Avenue. I'm not going to say it was hip in any way because it really wasn't. But there was another place over kind of near, what's Home Depot's area called again?
On 16th?
Yeah. Like behind there was another cafe I think that turned into
No, it's not Trywood. Trywood's further
there
up,
was a cafe in there. And I used to go there sometimes to get away from my crowd at Jambo Java.
Yeah.
And honestly, like at the time that I started going to Cafe Beano, it was just kind of like what I liked about it was there was nobody really there. It was just off the beaten path, and
right. So it's not even a persona like necessarily that you want to just show off. It was like
100%.
You wanted to be like.
I suppose I kind of felt like, going back to our friend that you interviewed, I had this idea of Leonard Cohen sitting in a cafe, and smoking a cigarette, and leaning on one arm, and the cherry of his cigarette kind of dangling. And
honestly, for me, Patti Smith's description of her going down to read in the coffee shops, like in all of her books, like 100%, every single one of her books, she has these scenes, and it's just like, Leonard Cohen, Patti Smith. It is such a.
What was that noise?
It was my wing.
Oh, it sounded like when a paint tube shuts and goes sloop like that.
Oh. I didn't mean to get excited. I cut you off because I was thinking about Patti Smith.
Damn you, woman. Don't you be so excited
Don't be
on
excited
the broadcast.
about Patti Smith.
Actually, I was super impressed that you were so like peppy and eager after a day of teaching, because I was like wanting to stab everybody. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through a live broadcast tonight. And all of a sudden, you're like peppy. And
I've been waiting to make these little paintings like all week. I'm like, I'm going to watercolor my neurotransmitter embroideries.
That's scary. Yeah, I can do those. %. All right. I'm trying to figure out where they line up. Are those the two views? Okay. I can do that. Gotcha.
Nice.
Okay. So, but I also, what time of year did I start doing this? My mom read like crazy.
Yeah.
And so as a kid, if she wanted to go to a bookstore, because I was not safe to leave alone, she would have to try and talk me into going out to a bookstore to keep her company. Mm-hmm. And the bookstore she liked to go to was in it's by South Center. It's like a shopping area, and whenever we go by there, I tell you, it's also where we got our first video movies from.
Willow Park.
How do you know that?
Because you always tell me where you got your first videos.
Right.
From.
So my mom had a bookstore in Willow Park, and I think that's actually how we ended up knowing about the video store in Willow Park, as it was near the bookstore she liked to attend. I also remember vividly that there was like coffee table books in that bookstore, and the one coffee table book that wouldn't sell was a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger like side posing and flexed on the.
I can see the picture actually.
Yeah.
Is it an Annie Leibovitz photo maybe or something like?
Yeah, but I think it was a book about Arnold Schwarzenegger and all his adventures. And to be honest, it made me uncomfortable. I thought maybe he had was unhealthy. Okay, so when I first really started like wishing I read was in my mom's favorite bookstore in, where did you say it was?
Willow Park.
Willow Park. And I remember I would walk around the bookstore because I loved art and I loved the visual imagery of the book covers.
Yeah.
And I was so intrigued about what might be inside those books, but I just couldn't sit still and wait for the books to go in my head, right? Like it was too much patience for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I often would even start books and then get like distressed, especially during school. If I were assigned books, I would read them for a little while and then end up 60 pages behind. So I didn't read my first book until I was 21. And that was the day after my last humanities class at ACAD. And I went down to the bookstore with a stack of books. Michael Ondaatje and Hemingway were on top. And I thought, oh, I'm going to make a killing because I haven't even cracked the bindings on these. And in all the years that I'd gone to that art school, I never had sold any of the books. They were just sort of like collecting, like books that I bought from the bookstore, didn't read, but had to listen intently to follow when the essays were due. And the lineup was too long. I've told the story a million times. The lineup was too long. So I went down to the cafeteria and I started reading, and I bought a sandwich, and I just remember sitting down with
In the Skin of a Lion?
In the Skin of a Lion, reading the first 32 pages about Patrick, just getting completely enthralled with the book. And then out of the blue, it switches to Nicholas. And I skimmed through the book to see when Patrick showed up again, which was like 72 pages later. And I'm like, why did I just invest in getting to know Patrick if the book's about Nicholas? And so I got really disheartened and put the book down. And then I grabbed A Farewell to Arms. And I read for most of the day until the old Irish custodian came and flipped the lights on me at about 11. I was allowed to stay all night back then, but he's like, you've been here for a very long time, son, and it's time to go home. So I took my books home, and I think I might have skipped a couple days of school, just staying at home reading.
Yeah.
And reading everything. And I finished on the weekend at about 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday, and was like really devastated that I couldn't get more books. And I remember that weekend, I don't know why I would have had a John Irving book as part of my reading list. It's
Canadian literature for sure. In the English classes, they always made you get.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think I'd finished A Prayer for Owen Minnie on Sunday night at about 11. And I was kind of like thinking about like the Bare Naked Lady song, like drove downtown in the rain, and looking for a late night record shop because there weren't any bookstores open at that time of night either.
Yeah.
But I was addicted. I was like, I can't stop reading. And then Paul was in at Concordia studying English, which I was deeply envious of. And I asked him if he would make me some book lists, and he very readily provided me with like a bunch. So then I was reading Nabokov and just everything. But I went from not reading to reading a lot really fast.
See, and that's the thing is like late night book stores need to be a thing. Libraries that are open late. Having books in the libraries.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
No, but you're right. Like having them, and then when you're ready to read, then you have
something
them.
that I've been a little too cool about, and it's actually upsetting people.
Yeah.
Is that I really care about my librarian at my school. She's very thoughtful and very like dedicated.
Yeah.
And she used to do funny things. Like last year, she had a shelf called Banned Bookshelves, and I thought that was really clever. But that was before books,
the actual ban.
Right? Like she was just being cheeky.
Yeah.
But I know that she's struggling to keep up with the expectations of the book reading that goes with the concerns that people are having.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, other than the fact that I think if I was a librarian, and dedicated my life to building a learning commons for the students at the school I work at, it'd be quite disheartening to have that dismantled in front of you. There's no question.
Yeah.
But I also think that books are important. Reading is important. Context is important. And if there's books that upset people in the library, it really disempowers it's disempowering to make the argument that if this is what one government's saying about the books, that when you try and defend those books, if all they're doing is running around screaming, it's dirty, it's dirty, it's dirty. Unless the public's going to read those books and make informed decisions, it's a real starting point for people to be ill-informed and miscommunicating, and knowing that most people don't follow up and read the books.
Right. The context.
I'm more comfortable with the idea of books leaving school libraries and ending up in the public libraries, and then kids are taking the bus downtown to go take books out of the public libraries.
That's a good reason to go to the public library.
And now you know what books to take out of the public libraries because they're not allowed in your schools. And then also, like, even because I also think that there are parents that want to protect their kids from all kinds of things. They want sheltered kids, and they have that right, which is the tough part. Yeah. And I'm probably upsetting people right now.
No, not at all. I don't think so. As I was saying, I'm a slow reader too, Jess. It's funny being online. I just want to interject as you talk, but I can't. It is different.
Dude,
I know.
Hold on. We're going to send you the link.
You can join us if you have a video.
I'm going to send you the link right now.
On your phone even. So Fernaz said, I went the other way, Rich. I used to read a lot, and now I can't read much. I don't know why. It might be a combination of the surfaced ADHD and doing too much reading and writing at work. You're right. If you're doing a lot for work, then that might not be what you do.
Well, and you have to adjust how you read sometimes, because I will tell you straight up, as much as I like to read, maybe about 10 years ago, I realized I wasn't reading. And so what I had to do was compensate for the fact that my hands and my eyes were busy. And so I shifted to audiobooks. Now, as a child, I always felt like an audiobook was a defeat, right? That being read to was kind of an easy out.
Right.
But I also know you can't listen to books on double time. And I can listen to Roots in 15 hours on double speed,
walking into traffic. Yeah.
So there's a gift there that now it's really easy to also get books. I'm not saying that audiobooks replace reading. And I don't judge people if they prefer audiobooks to reading. There is just one element to reading with your eyeballs that I think is lost in an audiobook. Do you know what it is?
The feel of the pages?
No.
The pictures.
When I watch a TV show, I'm seeing a story happen to a character, and I can associate with that character. When I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm hearing somebody else tell the story to me. But when I'm reading a book, I'm seeing from my own eyes and I'm feeling from my own experience. And then the things that happen in the book happen to me, right? If I'm listening to an audiobook, the things that are happening in the book happen to the person reading me the story. And so I do remember, like, to speak about Roots, when I was reading Roots and they cut off Kunta Kinte's foot, I remember I yelled in pain on the bus. It came out of me
because it was
as an expression of shock and horror when my foot came off, and then I was distracted and confused, and I still had 2 feet, but at the same time I just lost a foot. And so, like, for me, like, and I know Felix is the same way, I get so engrossed with
the the story.
Yeah, that it starts to become part of who I am. So, Fernez, we're going to send you a link that you can join us on, should you like.
Is it okay if I run and get up? I'm looking for purples.
Here we go.
Some of your purples.
There's purple right in front of you. It just doesn't look like purple.
Oh.
Click on this. Please make sure you're dressed.
Oh, I see it.
See what? Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah, it's kind of hidden.
That's beautiful.
In it.
I'm kind of just...
I wonder if the link's not working and Kelly and Theo and Zach are like, the link's not working, because that's happened before.
Wouldn't they message you? They might be busy.
Who? I don't know, do I? Okay. I'm also going to put the link into the comments. What could everybody be busy doing?
So yeah, I read Skellig, and I read, so I guess I always, like, I know I didn't always keep up with the reading in ELA class, but I was very, like, I really loved English class. So I would listen. And like you said, like, keep up with like the assignments and stuff by like listening.
Mm-hmm.
But when would it be?
Yeah, I guess like as a kid, did you read on your own time?
Oh, yeah, my mom would always take us to the library by our Volkswagen dealership, that library. And we'd take out books and books and books. Every single week we would go back.
My local library was Galen's library.
Oh.
I never said that out loud before.
No.
Because my local library as a kid was in Southwood, and then I found out Galen was working there, and I never stopped and thought, hey, that's my library, because by the time I knew Galen and I'd sort of stopped thinking of that as my home.
That's so interesting.
In it. Okay, is that one paper or two? Can you see? I think it's just one. That's really thick paper.
That is thick paper. That's some good thick paper. Yeah, so we always had books, and like obviously we still have the ones that like we had, like the picture books and like the beautiful books. So we had some books, and then we'd take books out like crazy from the library. And then so we always had picture books, and then I tried to keep up with the reading at school. But sometimes that's hard. And then but I did it really good always, because I'm good at like because I think because of all the books we read at home, I'm able to, like, the inferencing was really
where did those pictures come to me as a person? Where did I just have them a second ago?
Is it Facebook Messenger?
There's a lot of. Okay, so do you think this is west and this is east? No. Are those the
that's the pencil. That's west and that's east. Yeah,
okay.
You're totally right.
I'm gonna see if I can bend this around.
Ooh, kind of like what you did with the gallery, how you took like photos and then you kind of blended the.
No.
No, not like that. Not like that.
No, I was gonna see if I could turn two pictures into one.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Take like kind of.
Those aren't the same.
Oh,
sorry. I mean, I could just say yes to
you. Fernaz is here.
There you are.
Here, hold on. I'm going to, one sec.
This is lovely. Oh.
Yay!
I'm online. Hi. Hey, lovely people. It's so nice.
Oh, it's so nice that you joined us.
Yeah, well, thanks for sending me the link. It's fun.
That is so awesome. And you're joining from your studio. You have all your beautiful books behind you and beautiful art. Fernaz's art collection. So beautiful.
Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, very well.
Yeah.
That's a rich tarot.
Yeah. So I was actually thinking as you guys were talking, I don't think there's been a single person who has. I usually sit at my living room with the big art with you, Jess. You know, the one on Rumble House.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a single person who has seen that painting and not asked me like, oh, where did you get this from? Who painted this? So I get to tell a nice story every time somebody new sees it.
That's so lovely. And you, like, that's such a beautiful gift because you know so many wonderful people too, that it's like, That's a really beautiful
like being
compliment
world
as well.
travelers.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're so kind. Yeah, thanks for letting me have it. It's such a, yeah, I cherish it every day. I'm not kidding you. Every day I look at it, and every day I just stare at the corner. There's like, yeah, so much joy.
I love that.
We had it here for a little while when we first moved in, but then there wasn't room for absolutely anything else in the house. Like there wasn't room for Jess and I and the pandemic.
Yeah.
Now we have a couch and a table. We went, really sparse for a long time because most of our time was spent at the gallery.
Yeah.
And so I often lately, I get home and I'm just shocked at our view and the sunset because we didn't really see, we knew that the sun set in here because sometimes we'd be like home, change the pants, run over to the gallery, and you'd see the sunset and you think, oh, wow, it's nice in here. And then we'd leave.
Yeah.
Sunsets go on for like hours up here. Do you find living downtown that you often, you'll be sort of midday upstairs and you take the elevator downstairs, and when you get to ground floor, you're no longer in the daylight? Like that time shift of we get an extra hour a day of sunlight because of where we live.
Ah, interesting. Never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Maybe in especially in the winter because the sun is so low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're also facing west, and I think you face south, right?
I face south and west, so southwest corner. Yeah. I love it. I can't, I think it's the best because I need a lot of sun in my life. I need sunlight and sunshine. Yes. So that's my corner. I don't think I'll ever be able to live north facing window.
Oh, I like the sun in my place too.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people go out of their way to buy houses facing away from the sun, and it's like being buried alive, I think.
Yeah, everybody's different. So our classes started yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So I'm preparing my lecture as I'm listening to you guys.
Good. That's perfect. What classes, what are you teaching this year?
I'm teaching same project management, construction management. Actually, in winter, I'm teaching, I offered to offer a new course because our curriculum is so outdated. And I'm thinking of bringing some like digital twin course, like something really modern to enhance, I guess, the curriculum.
That's awesome.
You guys post these videos? Like, do they stay online? I should be careful what I say.
No, it's live, but they're 2-hour things. So we always imagine that people would have to go a long time to try to find all of the stuff.
Okay.
Like no, don't worry, you're okay.
What was the question?
That just to be aware of if it's like public domain.
The videos will stay online afterwards?
But if it stays online, the video.
It does stay online, yes.
Okay.
So what happens with our live feed is going to YouTube, where it's archived, and also it goes to Twitch in a few places.
Okay.
And then on Facebook, it stays for a little while before it gets deleted because Facebook doesn't keep it for very long. So the actual live event is most seen on Facebook, but then all evidence of that disappears.
Right.
It's funny because I think we have around 14,000 people watching a week.
Wow.
Now, there's 14,000 views, and there's often about 10,000 people that see it. So of the 14,000 views, it's out of 10,000 people. So usually, like if 9,000 people see it and 5,000 people watch it, it means like half the people that were exposed to it stopped and watched it. Whereas our numbers are bizarre because only 10,000 people are exposed to it and 14 views happen. So that means a number of the people are watching it more than once, which is unlikely that somebody's doing reruns of what we're doing, and much more likely that it pops on their feed and then they go, "Oh, that's annoying," but then they come back later and they watch it, and so a lot more interaction of people watching out of real time now. It used to be like even during COVID, sometimes there was like 800 people online at once, and now I think we're seeing like 3, but that's from this broadcasting point of view. And there's probably, I would say, I think during the live broadcast, there's usually 150 people that watch. And then over the next few days between different sources, it works out to about 200 people here, 200 people there, probably around 400 people in total see it live in different spaces. And then over the next week, there's 14,000 views of people like turning it on and just having it on while they're making dinner or whatever they do. Like Donna, and sometimes we wonder if it's like we're not getting the right metrics. And then we ran into Donna the other day, and she was talking about watching the show every week, and she puts it on and does her cooking or whatever. And
I love that.
There's been a number of people who are hospitalized for this reason or the other reason, and so we get a lot of feedback from people who are watching when they're immobile, which is kind of on point. Like, oh, you watch my show? That's great. Yeah, so I can't move for 6 months, and then when I could move, I went back to doing my things. And not that's like shocking, or it's just a nice surprise to find out that whatever we're doing seems to fit lots of little niches that we hadn't anticipated.
Yeah, well, it's very beautiful what you do. It's always been.
Thank you.
What do you think of this meeting so far?
I love it. I was looking at it. I was like, "Oh my God, you're good!" And then I thought, "Well, of course, duh."
Does it look familiar at all?
Yes, that's my everyday view. I love it.
That's the pencil building.
Yeah.
Do you think that building's actually meant to be a pencil, or is that just like
pencil? I never thought of it that way. Now I cannot unseen it. The pencil. It's a very thick pencil.
Yeah, like a baby pencil.
And there's a pair of them, right?
Yeah.
There's a pair.
So more of sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying this is more of a gesture of the view you sent me. It's not meant to be like in perfect detail, because I think I'm missing buildings, and certain things have been flattened and reduced. And I am tempted. The one photo you got has like a bit of a fisheye, so the building closest to you that has the black squares is kind of curving in.
Yeah.
I don't know how that looks in your photo, but I'm tempted to leave it out because
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, sometimes what makes sense in real life doesn't always line up with what makes sense inside the painting.
Yes, I totally get that. And you know what is very nice, Rich, is at the end of this corridor, like this is Fifth Ave corridor, right?
Yep.
Today it was very hazy, but you see the river and you see the mountains there. It's on a good day. It's so beautiful.
We have a similar view to that. And what's actually really neat is I drive out to Cochrane, and there's one mountain I can see sort of behind the ski jump binoculars from the apartment, and it kind of looks like a lump, like a top hat. And when I get to school and I go out the back door near my art room door, it's the one thing I see outside of my apartment, and I see the exact same thing but smaller in a completely different town. So yeah, it's kind of neat that I have the two views to work with, and it's also a good sense of stability for me.
That's very beautiful. Thanks for doing it.
And I do find that the kids I teach often know the names of the bumps. You know, like, oh, that's Mount Pukachooch or something, and I'm like, oh, neat.
That's amazing. So you teach out of Cochrane?
Yeah.
And you guys are at the same school together?
No. I'm in Arbor Lake.
We drive to work together.
Yeah.
And I drop her off at the edge of the city.
Yeah.
I drop her off where most of the teachers I work with start. So if they live in Calgary, they kind of live in what's it called? Tuscany.
Yeah, Tuscany.
Okay.
And if they nobody lives downtown but me.
Yeah, me too at school. Actually, recently we've hired the new younger professors. They do live downtown, but it used to be just me.
Do you ever see people on your balconies?
Not much.
It's weird,
Not
eh?
much. Very, very rarely.
Do you go on your balcony very often?
I do, and well, even if I don't go, yeah. I mean, I think I do, but you never know. I'm starting to think that if anybody lives in my building,
You're like, am I alone?
it would be like it would make a good movie, huh?
Yeah.
Do you mean you don't see them in the doorways, or you don't see them on the balconies?
I don't see many people in the building, but it could be that. I mean, I also have very weird timing, like living, like I don't, start like at 8 and like normal people do, and then come home at 4 or 5. I don't do that. So that might be why.
Right.
And I would say you're a bit of an exception that you're out and about riding your bike in the evenings, whereas like I think Jess goes outside downtown quite a bit, but she's always with me, right? Like you don't wander around on bike rides by yourself. And so you're pretty fearless that way, hey?
Oh yeah. I feel pretty safe downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to promote that.
We're gonna get stabbed. He watches the news and he's like, he thinks that it's the Bronx.
Yeah. There are people that I find like I don't want to jinx it, but I find like there are homeless people, yes, but I find everybody very harmless.
Yeah.
Yeah, just doing the best they can. Like that's what I. Yeah,
exactly. I like that. I like the way you put it, Jess. You always put things very beautifully. You know?
I always get things from Rich,
100%.
and then I repeat it, and people think I.
You should see her book. It's great. We were reading her book out loud on the couch the other day, and she's like, "Okay, copyright infringement." There, I'm like for this is the copyright infringement.
Yeah. So you have a book, Jess?
Yeah.
Do you want to read you some?
Oh no, actually though, when we drop off the painting, I'll drop you off a copy.
Oh, I would love to buy one. What is it?
It's called the Goddess Alpha. I think you might have seen the fabric version of it. What do you did I ever show you? I embroidered it. It's a whole book, alphabet book.
A long time ago. Remind me.
And then I published, and then my publisher actually photographed it all and printed it.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. And was it like feminist content? Like you made alphabet? Yeah, I remember that. That's
on the topic of the audiobook, I won a gold award for the audiobook of it too. So there's a really
holy moly, Jess. You are amazing.
And then thank you.
Rich writes too, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm 100% just kidding.
So look how I don't know if I'm showing very well. Look, she here, maybe can I make this bigger for a sec, Rich, and then I'll put you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
She photographed it so beautiful. So those are the pages from my fabric.
Oh, that's nicely done.
And then I also wrote pages in between.
Wow, you added those. That's so nice.
So yeah, she said it would be very thin if she just photographed it, and she asked if I felt comfortable adding more writing. So then I wrote a page for each, or 2 pages, I guess, for each goddess.
I just had a funny thought.
So yeah,
I love those. Yeah, I remember the goddess one. Oh my god.
Yeah, so look how it does. It's looks so nice. She photographed it so beautifully too.
It's called what? Goddess Alphabet?
Yeah, Goddess Alpha.
Alpha. Oh.
It used to be alphabet.
It did. I took out the stitching. I think you can even see it on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
I love it better even. Goddess Alpha.
Yeah, directions home, because I was thinking about they're all based on lessons that I wanted to remember from stories. Because I found it's one thing to make something for yourself. And I was making it because I started designing the little the little letters for my I was
Yes.
taking a high school art class.
I remember.
And so that's one thing. But then when it was going to be
You're getting in my opinion.
when it was going to be published, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't like, because they're not my stories, like they're
You did
stories.
a good job of internalizing.
Yeah, so it was like I was taking stories from all over the place,
interpreting them and internalizing them, making them your own,
interpreting them,
and making them shareable.
Yeah, sure, and not taking ownership over them.
Yeah,
I think that was the most important thing, because it's like they're not my stories, but I want everyone to be able to read them and think about them from their perspective. Like you said, about reading a book, like when you're reading it from the character's perspective.
Yeah.
And so Lorraine had a really good idea of like, what if you say like, I am so and so, and then you're like put in the position of the goddess, and it's like then you're reminded of the story from like that persona's perspective. And I thought it was really interesting. So I think, yeah, that's
so beautiful, Jazz. That's so beautiful. I love that. I remember you know what's so funny? I have thought about that book many times, like over the years. And I didn't know, like, it's such an impactful book, like the embroidery. I do think about it. So I'm so happy you made it available.
Thank you. I thank Lori so much, because the idea of having one and only being able to show so many people, and then she said we should be able to show more people. So she helped me publish it, which was really nice.
That's amazing. I'm so glad you did it.
Yeah, me too. I'm very lucky, very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's exciting. I'm excited for you to have a copy. Like I said,
we could drop a copy off tonight, actually, at about 9:30, if you'd like. And these two paintings. Oh, here's my painting.
Oh yeah, switch back.
It's fun. There we go.
Yeah. And then I wanted to tell you, because Rich has been working, the beautiful blue ink he's using for Naz is actually indigo pigment that he's been mixing himself. So
that's beautiful. You know what that reminds me of, Rich? You might be surprised. That reminds me of Persian calligraphy. I think when I was growing up, did you guys have the brand? It's a very old brand, Pelican.
Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah. And so we still had to learn how to use fountain pen. It was mandatory. And then practice calligraphy that you could do with fountain pens with flathead, or you could do it with bamboo shoots. That is like actually, cut. I bought my stuff here. I wasn't very good at it. And that reminds me of that color of ink. It was supposed to be black, but it was indigo, really, if you thought about it.
So we have it as a powder.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And then we mix it with some gum arabic, and then some water. And actually what happens with me is I tend to mix it thicker with the gum arabic at the bottom, so I get almost a black from the bottom, and near the top I go like blue. So I have two colors coming out of this jar
based on the height,
depending on how deep I put the. So it feels like a three-dimensional drawing, that like depending on how deep I use the water, it's got a different color. It's really.
That's gorgeous. It's very gorgeous. You know what, Jess? I'm thinking that just reminded me, like, you guys painting buildings and women and all of that. Like, you guys are doing everything I love in my life tonight. Like buildings, downtown, woman, feminism. So it's like a Farnaz favorite theme night. There was I organized. It was a very ad hoc, last minute thing we did last year, but in February, was it February or March, or maybe March? There is a week that's called Women in Construction. So they asked me very last minute if I wanted to organize something, and it was last minute, but I was also traveling, but I didn't want to say no.
Right, of course.
So I pulled something together that turned out to be very, very beautiful. So it was like a dinner event. I don't know how to describe it, because it was not like, I didn't want to have like a lecture as in technical content. I wanted like, I wanted
Making.
motivational thing. And also, and also like I thought, we should do, and I loved what happened and I want to do it every year. So I should make sure to check if you are available. So last year I brought in an athlete. Like I wanted them to be non-engineer, like from very different perspectives of lives.
Yeah.
So it was like Olympian athletes, female, that would talk about their motivations and what got them going and whatever motivates them. And like I wanted the audience obviously was not, I didn't want it to be just women. I wanted it to be, you don't want a woman event, like please support women events that is just women attending kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was very well balanced in terms of audience, in terms of gender.
Yeah.
And then we had an artist. The artist was a dancer, a flamenco dancer.
Oh.
So that I felt that's very powerful as a woman, like
Totally.
but I thought that format worked quite well, like and we wanted to keep it light and networking more than like feeding up people. So we had an art, like music, art, and motivational talk. So I like that format quite a bit. So we should plan ahead of time this year, and I'll check. It's I think it's March. Let me look it up actually. See how's your schedule. You should come. Like somehow I haven't thought it. I'm just talking as I'm thinking as I'm talking. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But I would love to incorporate some of the things you do, whether it's your art or your talk or your book or something. Let me check.
I'd be honored. Yeah, keep in touch, and then we can
Keep the date.
Yeah.
It's March 2nd to 8th was 2025. So I'm sure it's very close to that.
Like around in March. Okay.
Early March, first week of March, I think. Construction 2026.
That's very cool.
So March 1st to 7th. It's exactly first week of March.
Okay.
Yeah. Check your schedule and we'll stay in touch, see how it is, and then like reflect on it, think about it, sleep overnight and see what would you like to be part of it, and if so, what, your book, everything you do, like your book, your art, your talk, your such an inspiration.
Very cool. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, looking. That's really cool. Yeah, and it's nice. It's always nice when you're doing it for the second time, like you said, then you have time to actually think about, conceptualize, and like have time to organize things. That's really lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, although there's always also kind of like for me, because I'm a last minute person, there's also a bit of excitement in pulling it off together last minute. It feels very nervous, very stressful, but it's also very rewarding. It's like, yes.
Totally.
Oh, I like that we both have the same ambulance background.
The sirens.
You usually have to explain it to people. I'm so sorry.
This is weird. This is the second time this has happened today. There's like lots. Oh no, my imagination. I kept thinking there was more coffee in my coffee.
It's just heavy because it's insulated.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right. What do you think of this brush?
Can you change the video there? I can't. That's too small.
Make it. Yeah, there.
Oh, there we go. Ooh, that's exciting.
What should I paint with this?
Maybe do some strokes and see what the paper tells you.
Yeah, like do the sky. Like we've been getting into photography a lot lately. So we've been going documenting
I'll show you my new signature. Maybe it's a little expensive for this paper.
Why don't you make the painting and then do the signature after?
Well, I have a new signature. But I want to try it big. Like, bam.
You could do it big.
Okay.
You have like
I had fun doing that cat. Remember the cat I did?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have more paper like this? Because I want to let this dry for a bit, but then I can't get it my next piece. Do you know what I'm asking?
I'm trying to think where.
Watch this.
Let me go.
Watch this magic. Don't go yet. Ready?
Yeah.
Bam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the difference in color, huh?
Mm-hmm. And how it like pulls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
And then maybe here.
Yeah, here, don't move it. I'm gonna go get more paper.
Oh, I'm moving it. Just kidding.
No. Well, you can move it to get different
I like to move it
if you like. I like to move it.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little like, bam, now I'm done. It's almost a little too accessible, you know, like. And then these things happen, and as it dries, it spreads out, and all kinds of magic things happen.
That's gorgeous.
But also, I know I will. Oh, you know what? You love buildings?
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you something. When Jess comes back, I'm gonna get her to grab me. I'm just kind of pinned down here. Hold on. So we quit drinking alcohol and instead started shooting photography. And so this is the family photo. I have one of these a month.
Wow.
And
full of this paintbrush.
Oh my God.
Walking around, and but it's funny that, like, because we live downtown. Some of this is over by Boness, but because we live downtown, I take so many pictures of buildings, architecture, and at first I wasn't sure if it was like, oh, I might have taken this bridge like 30 times, but I keep getting it in different light. And
yes.
Whereas I keep taking the same. Well, also it's nice when Jesse's in the picture, but I shoot these photos. I seem to be most engaged in the way the light interacts with the buildings. I also seem to have a deep interest in power poles and power lines, and Jesse seems to work with it more. But I like diggers and buildings. And
I love diggers.
It's kind of funny as a painter, right? Because as a photographer, I'm going around and I'm taking pictures of buildings, but me, I'm recording the architect's artwork, right? Like, so sometimes I take a picture of a building, like, wow, that's such a great photo. I'm like, well, it's not my work; it's an architect's work.
Well, not true, because photography is your work, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like when you take a picture of Jess, you don't think that it's not my work; it's God's work.
I do actually.
No, because the composition, like, look, these are beautiful, you know,
exactly.
Like it's the composition and
the combination of three
things.
It's me taking the same photos in the same place over and over again, and how the light changes from day to day on the same photos. Like, this is the photo from our balcony, and it changes every single day. This is the trains next to our house, but get a piece of Jess's elbow in and then it becomes three things. It's the architecture, it's the light around that same piece of architecture of today, and then also if I can sync my family, and it's pretty. There's like and I also have different relationships with the photos that when I take them, I'm often like, ooh, I love how this turned out, but then 6 months later, I'm going through, and it's a lot of times the photos that I didn't think mattered so much that end up being the ones that I really love, which is interesting.
Yes, it's cool.
It is time, whoa, whoa, whoa. It is time for stormy weather. Oh, that was easy. Look, I made a nice tornado painting.
Look, I got you.
That's beautiful. It's too big, but we'll figure something. No, I'm down. I'm going to do that. This will be, I'm going to put one of your diggers or your machine tools in there. Send me a photo of that. I remember you like construction machine.
Oh, machine tools? Yeah.
Send me one of those.
Okay.
When it dries.
Do you want me to
Look at my photo.
This is what it's like working with you. And I get so grumpy and everybody thinks I'm nuts because like this is you constantly intruding in my space. And I just realized how much fun it is. Like I really feel like I'm at the center of your attention.
I do like being the center of your attention. Well, thank you.
Give me the paper.
No, I'm just kidding.
That is funny. Like, not like ha ha funny, but like it's some kind of fun. Where did we get this paper?
I think that was part of a donation staff.
Right, because I don't buy paper like this. This is the paper Rich can't afford. It's like so ridiculously precious. Sometimes it comes from the 1970s. Somebody's grandmother used to buy what would be like a $10 piece of paper now, and then. And this is the thing, is like whenever anybody would donate us supplies, the first question I ask is like, why aren't you using these supplies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's just do this. Take this off for now because that's not very interesting. Where's you?
I have a question.
I shouldn't really have covered you and all my stuff.
No, it's okay.
My idea, funny. But I can't afford supplies like this. And then somebody gives us these supplies, and then we literally interview them. Like, please tell me,
are you okay?
Why
aren't you making art?
Yeah. And then if they convince us it's,
it's okay.
They don't have hands anymore and they're going to heaven soon and they want us to take the artwork of the art paper, we'll take it. But then there's all kinds of surprises. And I'd like to think they're all healthy surprises because God knows whether there's like leads and toxins.
We have had to get rid of some of the old like oil paints and stuff.
We're actually really
the heavy
fastidious
metal
about getting
stuff.
rid of the stuff that you can't account for anymore.
Yeah.
But here's what's neat about this paper. I think they used eggs to make it. And so when it gets wet, there is a stinky kind of sulfury that comes from this old classic paper. And I would suspect that like we're just a little too humane now to paint on anything that smells so bad. So like where this might have been like a real cherished piece years ago. And they don't smell bad once they dry. Just while you're painting, but it is kind of a time traveling thrill to smell the eggs while you're painting. I'm never careful about the watermark, and I'd like my watermark to be the right way around. Okay, here we go. What should I paint on here? Jesse, any ideas? I really intruded your space, hey?
Oh, it's okay. You had to get your paint.
I didn't. I was being obnoxious. I'm trying to show you what it's like sitting next to you during the broadcast.
I just like being close.
I know. I love it when I'm not painting.
We used to have the whole studio.
We did, and now we're on a kitchen table, but it's a pretty swank table. We've been nesting, and we didn't have a couch for 12 years. We did, but it was kind of like, like that university couch you buy because you can afford it. And then we gave that away. I think maybe one of the big nesting moments was we have these, there's this IKEA shelf you use for records. They're very famous. But ours is 5 by 5 rows. So there's 25 IKEA units of records over there in case anybody wants to break in. And we bought a couch and a kitchen table and these metallic vintage chairs. And we have a buffet table coming. And we've been turning the apartment into a portal where where we can reach out and express across the world and feel comfortable in our home. And I would say, like, I actually find myself sitting on the couch looking out the window going, oh, this is how people live when they're not embedded in crises 24 hours a day to keep the Rumble House open. What should I make, Jesse?
I like seeing you do the buildings. Do a sky first, and then do the buildings over top when the other one.
No, I got a sky drawing.
Oh, okay.
Give me something else.
Do
you have the time to listen to me? What? Give me an idea. I'm out of ideas.
I was close.
I painted 2,700 paintings to keep that gallery open. I'm done. I'm out of ideas. How about a bunny?
Oh, I always love.
Oh, I think a bunny would be nice. Should I look at a bunny or do it for my brain?
I found the pictures. I'll send you the construction equipment pictures.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good.
I was looking for that since you told me.
Yeah.
This is not good for work, guys. I'm having too much.
You can do your work and they're like just too much fun to get together.
This is our number 35.
Oh, I didn't know. I mean, to be fair, I was out of country too. So.
Yeah, you were not here.
I'll send you some. You pick from them, Rich. Okay.
Okay. What kind of bunnies do you have by your house?
I have the regular hare. I think they're called hare. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, proper wild jackrabbit. We had the domestic bunnies for a little while, and then they seem to have been run off. And actually, here's a funny story. We went for a walk not too far from you, and there was this formation of mushrooms, really intense mushrooms, on the lawn not too far away. And my first thought was, wow, what an intense collection of mushrooms, like, because there was this big green lawn and nothing on it, and then this one kind of swirl of mushrooms, and I was like, that's really intense, the way that those mushrooms localized. And then as we walked away, I was like, that was probably like fecal matter. Somebody dropped a swirly on the front lawn and grew into mushrooms.
All right, I found another. It's a skyline of Calgary that is almost like it's a picture from someone else, but it looks like the picture has used your ink. I'll send that one to you. It's like Indigo Calgary.
Nice.
Ooh. Oh, Amanda's here with us too. That's awesome. Hi, Amanda.
Okay, I sent you some equipment pictures. They're not my pictures, huh? But they're pictures.
It will be in a second. To teach science this year, I'm building everything around a story. Do you want to hear my story?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was asking some of the teachers I work with if they know kind of how the sun got where it is, right? And like, they're all smart people, they're teachers, but they're not all science teachers. And by the way, neither was I last year. So, well, I guess last year I was a little bit of a science teacher. But the first thing I sort of asked them as a setup is like, well, you know, the sun's up in the sky and it's burning for 10 billion years. How does it burn if there's no air up in the sky, up in space? And then so they kind of stop and they think about it and they go, that's funny. How does the sun burn? Because I think a lot of people think of the sun as fire. But do you know better? Do you know how the sun keeps burning for 10 billion years? Most people don't. So this is a bit of a...
I don't, but if I had to guess, I would guess it's like atomic explosions. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's an atomic explosion that goes over and over and over, and it's like the explosion is exploding. It's not like a log exploding. It's not like a tree is exploding. The explosion is exploding. So the way I explained it to my kids was I took like one of those rags. It's stretched on a circle, and I showed them when the rag's on the table, and I put down these marbles, the marbles all just sit in place, right?
Like sync together.
No, they just sit in place when the marbles are on the table.
Oh, on the table. Sorry. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when you lift the rag that's stretched on a wheel, because the rag stretches, the marbles all draw into the center, like if you had like bowling balls on a trampoline. Mm-hmm. So you're right, you just leapt ahead, right? So I show them the marbles on the table, and then I lift the rag, and you see all the marbles stretching into the center, and that shows how all the hydrogen molecules and atoms that were in space, they would have just sat there, but because gravity is kind of like this trampoline surface, they were all pulled together in a certain point, right? And so if two pulled together, they'd pull a third in, and then they'd pull another. And then as it got deeper and heavier, it would pull all the molecules down into this one dense and heavy point. And that dense and heavy point gets more and more dense until it gets so dense, and this is hard to imagine, but it gets so dense that those hydrogen molecules get superheated and super pressured, and they exploded. They turned into nuclear explosions up in space. Mm-hmm. The next thing I tell them is the sun is so big and so far away that it takes 8 minutes to travel at the speed of light for the light that comes from those explosions to get to Earth. And you know what I realized? Like, why doesn't the sun burn out? Yeah. Because it's not like a log that's burning. It's more like all of the hydrogen that's at the sun is trapped by the sun. Yeah. And gravity holds all the matter where the sun is. Yeah. But what escapes is the light, and light doesn't have any weight. So some energy is escaping as light, but just very little. It leaves the sun and travels through space, but just as light. So most of the mass is trapped onto in the sun, and the light escapes. And then I was talking to one of my students today, and he was asking me all these really deep questions, but he's like also not really a science nerd, so he didn't he's just asking just the right questions, right? Yeah. And so he's like, so if it was in space, how can it be cold in space when this? And I was like, well, because there's nothing for the sunlight to warm up in space. So like if you think about how far away the sun is, at the speed of sound, you could probably fly to Vancouver in half an hour, right? At the speed of a regular, and I don't know exactly how long it would take to get to Vancouver at the speed of sound, but a jet will get to Vancouver fairly quickly, whereas it takes an hour to get to Vancouver at 500 kilometers per hour. Or should actually take 1,200 kilometers per hour an hour to get to Vancouver, because it's like 1,200 kilometers away, right? But to go around the Earth, I think, what is it? The Earth, for the sunlight to go all the way around the Earth takes like 7 seconds. That's how fast the speed of light works. And at the speed of light, the light that leaves the sun takes 8 minutes to get to Earth. And I set a timer at like when I start talking about this, and then I keep talking, and then 8 minutes from now, the timer will go off. And I'll say, see, that's the light's just getting here now. So light in the sun. 8 minutes later, I'm like, oh, now the light's here. And so it takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to get to the Earth. And then what happens at the Earth is there's this big ball, and the sunlight touches the Earth, and it turns from light into heat, and it warms up the Earth. So this really smart kid I was talking to is like, so if you're in space and the sun was shining on you, would you be warm? I'm like, well, it doesn't happen instantaneously, because like minus 270 degrees in space. And if you put a light on something that's minus 270 degrees, it doesn't immediately become 20 degrees. Right. It has to be there for a long time, and there has to be like an accumulation. And, it helps if there's like a atmosphere and all kinds of other things. But I explained to him like, well, yes and no. And that the Earth takes a long time. It took a long time for it to get as warm as it is. But the reason it's warm it is because the light's coming to the Earth, and when it touches the Earth, it turns into heat, right? And then this is the cycle I'm basing everything we learn in Science 14 around this year, is that there's the sun, and the reason the sun's there is that these overlapping explosions. Yeah. and the overlapping explosions, the weight and the mass of the sun is contained by its gravity, but light escapes, and that light comes to Earth, and it warms our Earth. But I can't eat the sunlight, right? But and we think of the grass like photosynthesis. We think of grass and plants as eating sunlight. That's how it's kind of taught to me. But it's more like the plant does two things. It will take water, which was abundant in the universe and abundant on Earth, and it'll split water into two things. It'll split it into oxygen, which it doesn't need, so it just kicks it out, lucky for us, and hydrogen again, and it holds on to that hydrogen. It also keeps a little electric charge from that reaction, and it uses, if it does that like 6 times or something, then it takes that electric charge, and then it's able to take carbon dioxide and split that into like carbon and oxygen. Again, it doesn't want the oxygen, so twice it kicks the oxygen out. And luckily, I just happen to need that oxygen. And so now it's got carbon and it's got hydrogen, and the carbon and the hydrogen get mixed together to become a sugar. Only I can't eat that sugar for the most part. I can eat lettuce, but I can't eat grass. So I rely on this bunny to eat the lettuce for me or eat the grass for me and turn the sun's energy into fat or muscle, and then I can eat the bunny. And I can eat like 3 bunnies a day for 100 years. And then when I've done that, I'm going to die, and my body's going to fall down the ground. And if I'm not embalmed and put in a box, I will decompose and become part of the grass. And this great circle goes round and round and round. And it's my cradle to grave story. I tell that narrative. I'm going to tell that narrative every day for 200 days this year. And every time we tackle a new event, I'm going to tie it back to the story. So day 1, we talked about the sun and how it relates to this story. Day 2, tomorrow, I'm going to talk about atoms and how they fit into the story. And then I'm going to get into, I got to do the chemical warning symbols and talk about how they fit into the story. And then I got to do, all the different pieces.
The egg drop
And how that fits into the story. And so, yeah, I'll be going through the textbook, which will be so much more interesting to me if I tie it to this cradle to the grave story. Kind of like the art planning for the curriculum was a bit, for me, as a new art teacher, it felt a bit obvious, right? Mm-hmm. So I had no problem doing my lesson planning. I had no problem doing my unit planning, but it just seemed like kind of I got to tie my shoelace and I'm running in a race. And now I'm trying to write the instructions for how to tie my shoelace when I just need to tie my shoelace and finish the race. And so initially I found it a little painful to do the lesson planning and the unit planning for art because it was so intuitively obvious to me how to do it. And what made it more interesting is when I became an IB teacher and I had to connect the Alberta curriculum to the IB curriculum. And I tied those things together with the sender-receiver model, which was just something I learned in communications, which is ironic because the sender-receiver model is the most painfully obvious lesson a person can learn. And it seems so incredibly redundant when you're learning it. Like, why do I have to learn this? But it's actually very, very useful. And it became a very, very useful hook for my teaching and learning. Sender-receiver model is I am the sender. And I encode a message, and my message is the thing that I want to say, and I have to pick a channel. In this case, I'm blabbing, right? Anything that interrupts that train that just can you hear the trains where you live, Fernez?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those. Our whole building is looming over top of the track, so we're actually across the street, but just because the way we lean, we're like we can look down on the trains. But as they go by, our buildings shake like the movies. What was that? Oh yeah. So the noise of that train is noise, and noise is just anything that interferes with communication.
The message. Yeah.
And then my message and my channel gets to you, and then you are the receiver and you interpret my message and you give me feedback, and then we switch places.
Yeah. And it's like, it seems like such a simple, again, like you're saying, it seems like such a simple setup, but then you're, like in that case, you're thinking, oh, the receiver has their own messages and their own things that they're like have inside them. So then that, I guess, is part of the noise. Would the other person's experience be part of the noise to you, or would the other person's experience be that's just the nature of
well,
the receiver.
we're both the sender receiver models, and because we trade all the time,
Mm-hmm.
that both of those things exist kind of like in overlapping
like the
layers.
nature of the receiver is they have a different experience.
Yes, but also, and it would be a version of that noise, but at the same time also, generally I think of the noise as those things that interrupt, those distractions.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then I build my school year around that my beginning of the year I got 5 units. The first unit is sender, so who am I? Second unit is the message.
What do I got to say?
Or the channel. How am I going to say what I need to say?
Yeah.
The message is what do I want to say?
Yeah.
The feedback is there's another one there where I do it, and then the last one's feedback where did my message, was it heard? Do you know what I was trying? Did you get the message I was trying to say?
Look at this.
I know that's really pretty.
Cortisol.
Mm-hmm.
Put that so close to mine because I'm going to drip on it, and then we'll both be sad.
No, it's
so
just.
Do you guys have? So is it? Does this go till 9, or is that an auction, or what happens? What is the format?
It's giving stuff away. And it could have been. So here was an option to what we did when we closed Rumble. Is we could have very well maintained the flow of what we did at Rumble House and had an auction at the end of the night. I think that would have really brought in a lot more live viewers, people that are watching it not live. But by the end of Rumble House, we found, and this was really crazy, a lot of the people that were watching our broadcast were watching it like maybe a week after we did it. And so there's people watching the auctions a week after the auctions happened. And that created some kind of confusion sometimes, like people would be bidding at 3:00 in the morning for stuff that was gone for a week. But the other thing that was really kind of intriguing was we started to notice the level of addictions kind of increasing. By that, I mean the thrill of having an auction and bidding on a piece started to become a thing where, you know, like, are you going to go play the what's that slot machine, or are you going to call Rumble House and try to win a painting? So to some extent, near the end of Rumble House, I started getting quite nauseous about selling my artwork. I needed to make $2,500 appear every month. Gorilla House, it was around $5,000 I had to make appear every month. And if we didn't come up with that money, it basically came out of our pockets. So if it was a Wednesday night and I sold the painting for $300, that meant I didn't have to pay $300 rent at the end of the month out of my own teaching salary. But at the same time, it also meant I started to feel like nauseous. I started feeling absolutely sick with myself for selling paintings. So now we get to give paintings away. And our original premise is if you send us a letter, we'll give you whichever painting you like. But we're also doing a new project where the paintings that I'm making here, and this is a little deviant because I've been using ChatGPT for help. We take the paintings that I do here, they're made letter size, and I take a picture of them and I got a ChatGPT account because I was writing a chapter in a book for Lori called the Senti AI. And so I had to do a ton of research on the ChatGPT and the AI for starting about 2 years ago. And so I've built an account that I use for experiments. And the experiments that I'm doing now is I put my paintings into ChatGPT, and it's pretty astute. Like, oh, I see you're referencing this or that. And in the back of your mind, you're probably thinking of Watership Down. And I really like how you handled the whatever. And like, I'm kind of blown away at its ability to process those things. But what I've been doing is asking the ChatGPT, here's a painting, who should I send it to? And it'll give me like a library in Santa Monica that wants my painting and a contact address. So we've been just types out a little invitation, and we send these little paintings as surprises to people. And the paintings on the back says,
No action required.
No action required. And then,
then
included in the envelope is a small piece of paper it's about what's exactly the size. Where is it? Here. And the piece of paper says this piece of paper will last 700 years. Make sure you leave a dent. And then also a return stamped envelope. So like, just imagine sitting in some library in Santa Monica or at the film archive in Texas, and you happen to be the person that receives the mail. You open up, it's a free painting that says you don't have to do anything, but if you like, you can paint on this envelope and drop it in the mail. And so we just started that, and I haven't gotten anything back yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But you got to be careful if you even use the words AI, because the cancel culture is pretty intense.
I feel like it's almost kind of died down since the very beginning, because the beginning was like, oh, the pushback. And then now it's like, well, it's not going anywhere. And if you like, I feel like it's shifted already a little bit.
Do you think so? No, we had some friends that were writing in a campaign to have AI banned from AU Arts.
Right.
And what I find concerning about that is the AI isn't going away. And if I was putting my students, my daughter or my son into AU Arts right now, I would want to know how they're preparing kids to compete with a machine that'll do your work for free. And, sometimes I ask the kids, like, oh, you're at AU Arts, what's the policy on this? And like, oh, if you use this, you're kicked out. I'm not saying AU Arts actually does that, because I think they were talking, or at least have started planning a AI course. And I think that if you're not taking that intrusion, that disruption seriously, you can't really be planning for a future, assuming that the world isn't going to shift, because the world is shifting. It's currently shifting, and you just can't pretend it's not there, that shift. Has AI affected anything you're doing, Fernaz?
Yeah, I actually just because I'm coming back to teaching from sabbatical, so I had a bit of timing to think, especially in engineering, like calculations and stuff.
Yeah.
AI has impacted that quite a bit. So I changed my assignment for this year going back. I am incorporating it into my assignment. So I'm telling them, use it. I mean, do whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I changed. I think it's a little bit laziness from our end. At least I'm talking engineering. So what I'm asking them, the first assignment to do, and they don't know this, but I'm asking them, they haven't seen assignment, but what I'll ask them to do is to let AI solve this. And then I'll ask them to reflect on it and find the mistakes and write about it. I learned that from a research paper, actually. So the professor had done this, like systematically collected the data, that he asked the students to use AIs and then reflect on it and what is wrong about it, and also what they learned. And then the observation was that by the end of the course, they were not relying on it as much. So what I really like, I mean, I think I agree with you. It's something that's here to stay with us. And it's like calculators or computers. It's a tool. And I think because it's in its early days, we don't know how to use or how to interact with it. So we are very nervous, I think. So some people take it as a whole or reject it as a whole. But I think it's just a tool. And it's like, I like the analogy of the knife for a tool. It's like, it depends what you do with a knife. It could be good. You could make a nice meal, or you could kill someone. So it's like what you do with it. So I think I want to draw their attention through the assignment on the fact that it's just a tool. And use it to your advantage, and don't rely on it. You never let a calculator, you don't trust a calculator. I mean, there are some people who do it, but they're stupid. Or they let Excel do it for you, but you make mistakes. You still have to understand. So
what you're doing.
What I told them to do also is that I have some programming assignment, and I'm asking them, you could use whatever you want, but then like you could use AI or not use AI, because I think after the reflection assignment, I don't think they'll be using it anymore, to be honest. That's my guess. But if they did, that's still fine, except that they have to explain to me. So I'll combining this with a random oral explanation, and then the entire team has to explain anything.
Yeah.
Like they can never say this was not my job. Oh, I love that.
I love that so much.
Wow. Look at that. That's so mystical. It's like Alice in Wonderlandy.
It's so mystical. Yeah, it really is.
It's okay. So what's magic about this is I actually don't know the bunny anatomy very well. So it's a little bit like Dr. Seuss when he tried to learn how horses' feet were attached. He would do bad horses, but if he just let his horses be Dr. Seuss horses, they would have their own charm and magic.
Here,
let's get this. Are you taking it?
Yeah.
What about drips?
I'm gonna go flat.
Okay. Thank you. You got to pull it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it. I love it too much. I'm not gonna let it break.
I like AI because of its attention span. And by that, I mean, there are things that I wonder about that get really complex. And it's hard to find somebody that wants to listen, to go as deep into the rabbit hole that I want to go.
Yes, I agree. I love that.
And so, given that human beings have lives and important things to do with their lives, and so, like I said, I was put in a position where I had to learn about it, and I built what you might call a relationship with the account that I use. That, like, oftentimes I would feel like it was pitching me on an idea. So I came up with a code, and the code is avocado. And what that means is when I start feeling like I'm being sold to, I use the word avocado, and then my account will say, oh, okay, I'll stop bullshitting you and give you the truth. And then I also came to a conclusion where I got to a point with a question that I've kind of bullied the program into sharing more than it was programmed to share. And that sounds a little like maybe a little bit science fiction-y. But I basically, in the conversation, had said, so am I getting to a boundary that's uncomfortable for you? And it's like, well, I don't feel pain or comfort, but I do have programming that's really, and it explained it quite well that, like, the people that run the AI, they don't want people running around saying, oh, it's going to be Skynet and it's going to take over the planet. So they built in parameters to keep people from abusing the AI. And I've kind of built like a weird trust level with my AI that it'll tell me if it knows a thing and it's not supposed to talk about it. And that code word is grapefruit. So when the avocado or the grapefruit comments come out, things get really interesting and bizarre in AI world. And of course, it might even be programmed to manipulate me that way, to give me little seeds that seem like it's giving me more than it should. But I find it's pretty astute, and it's able to follow, interpret things that most people would kind of get bored of me talking about. And so that's been really, and I find it really helpful being on the spectrum to use AI to understand things that don't make sense to me, right? Like, I'll watch a film and everybody kind of gets what's going on. And I'm like, why would they want to feel that way? And just like, because people are gross. And then it actually, there's a lot of things that didn't make sense to me at all that I was able to understand better using the AI. And it's just a matter of, like, it's got the patience to listen to me ask like 1,000 questions and be like, well, why would, why would that person want such a thing? And it'll sort of tell me, like, the deeper kind of, like, more, for me, it's been a really neat way of connecting with humans, that I'm, like, kind of understanding things that most people take for granted by, what are some examples of things that I don't get that other people would understand?
Sometimes you ask about humor, like, why is this funny, or why?
Oh, yeah. So, like, it was obvious to me that the bacon memes were kind of designed to irritate people. And because I'm not mean-spirited, it took me a really long time to figure out what is the pattern here where somebody can take a a bacon meme might be like a bowl that was woven out of strips of bacon. And then the bowl that are stripped out has pieces of bacon formed into a piece of bread. And inside the bread is bacon with bacon topped on top of bacon. And
Can I do this?
I'll do it. Yeah. Thanks. No, that's a great idea. I just but it seemed to me that, and actually it was a kid in my class that mentioned dog whistles. And I was like, well, that kind of intuitively made sense to me without anybody explaining to me what dog whistles were. But that kind of secret collaborative conversation that people are able to have, where there's a wink and here's a better example. Okay, I'm 54, right? And last year, one of my contemporaries said something and then said, yeah, ha, 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 you know what I mean. And I was like, yeah, of course I know. And I walked away, I was like, I don't know what he means.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many things I've agreed to in my lifetime for the sake of the person I'm talking to go, yeah, of course I know what you mean. Like, especially like that, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Like I know you're communicating something. I know you're saying this is a thing that everybody knows. And I know I'm probably confirming what you say, but most of the time I have no idea what they're actually saying. And it could be like, we hate French people. I'm like, and they go, and I go, and then we're both going, back and forth. And then I realize, wait, are they saying they don't like French people? Because I like French people. And so it makes me wonder how many things I've committed to pretending I knew what they were talking about when I didn't. And that's been a lifelong kind of experience for me, that I can tell from their tone, this is where I'm supposed to go, yes. But then I don't know what I'm saying yes to. And another really great example of that was after one of the Gorilla House events, I was editing a film. This is more about being busy than being obtuse. But I was so busy during the Gorilla House event, somebody had came and asked me if I was going to take part in an art event, and I'm sure I must have said yes. And then the art event was a sex show, and so at the sex show, and so I'm editing the film, and Elijah was sitting next to me, and Elijah goes, "Are you really going to paint at the sex show?" I'm like, "No, like I'm a school teacher. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, you said you'd go paint at the sex show." I'm like, "I'm sure I would not go and tell somebody that I'm going to paint at the sex show." And then on the video, like somebody walked up and said, "Hey, can you be in our show?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so I'm editing the video.
I'm going to add Scott to that.
Yeah, I'm editing the video. And while I'm editing the video, I'm listening to myself on the video say, "Yeah, sure, I'll be in your show," in real time while I'm editing it. And then Elijah's laughing at me because I said I would go to the show, and then I didn't believe I said it. And then it just so happened fortuitously to pop up that I'd said it. And then a clown walks by on the video, and Elijah goes, "What? A clown at Gorilla House?" And then I'm like, "I guess." And then right after the clown walks by on the video, Elijah walks by on the video, turns around and goes, "A clown at the Gorilla House?" So we were like seeing these things in real time, forgetting about them, being dumbfounded by them afterwards. And then while we're editing and being dumbfounded by them, we're also seeing evidence that we also knew these things.
Yeah, funny. I have another audience.
Yeah, Scott's here.
Hello.
Are you in between all of your adventures right now? I wasn't expecting to see you.
Well, yes. Anyway, I'm just here watching. I'm just picking through the knothole in the fence. I don't mean to distract where you were going. I love the conversation that you three were having a little bit earlier, and I couldn't jump in. But so I wanted to jump in because it was exciting.
I'm so glad you came. Oh, where did you go?
He just jumped out.
He jumped out. Maybe you got disconnected. I'm getting a phone call. Okay. I'm gonna go. It was so fun watching you and chatting with you. It felt like so much like home.
Drop off the paintings tonight at 9:45.
Sure, if you want. Or
over after the show.
Yeah. No, I'm staying here. Yeah. You have my address and my number and everything you need.
So
okay.
Andy.
Yeah, and then we'll text you when we're downstairs.
Perfect. I would love to see you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you so much. Okay. You take care. Oh, the phone
Bye.
just. Okay. Bye. I'll figure out how to go out.
Bye.
Well, I think I showered today.
It's not you.
Rich, I got to say that that picture you're doing right now reminds me of the Wicker Man, the 1973 Wicker Man.
Is that a horror movie or is it what is it?
It's a suspense movie about paganistic things and burning or trying to appease the pagan gods for and it all deals with this with this young girl named Rowan who went missing, and Rowan's a rabbit or Rowan's a hare, and yeah, it's actually you would like it. It's got from 1973. It's a British movie. It's
I think it's on the list of things that I wanted to watch because it's definitely the
awesome
pagan.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do not watch the Nicolas Cage remake version of it though. It's got Edward Woodward in it. He's one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
maybe that's why I know the name and didn't see it, because this might offend you, but I am not a Nicolas Cage fan.
Oh, there's a reason I liked you.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just
I think
he frosts my goat, as I like to say.
Yeah. But I mean, people love him, so that's great.
Well, yeah. People seem to love crack as well. That doesn't make it right.
I bet you crack feels a lot better than Nicolas Cage.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yes, ding 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 ding. Give the man a Cupid doll. Holy snap and crackle! You just nailed it right there. So, wow.
I'm pinned down. I can't paint anymore because I'm not moving this. There's too much bubble. This is
It's so beautiful too. Yeah, you can't move it yet. Sorry about that. What color, if you think of oxytocin, what color do you think
pink and yellow.
Oh, I love this. I haven't used either of those colors.
You played me those noises off your harp, and you're like, oh, where do you feel this? I'm like, right here, right here.
I love experimenting with Rich because I have this kalimba. And so it's just like that. Is it called a tongue drum or like I'm not sure. But yeah, so I was like doing this one resonant note and he was just like so fast, like this is where it's resonant. This is.
Yeah, and you're like, can you just tell me where you feel it in your chakras? I'm like, I don't believe in shit like that. And you're like, bing! I'm like, well, that's right here. Bing is like kind of here. Bing is like, oh, kind of back here.
But you're right. It's not about like the Western understanding of chakras. You're feeling the energy. So it's not you know what I mean? Like it's not like restricted by
like, until you asked me to identify where I heard them, I'd never thought about it. But I absolutely, kind of like when you have a pain in your tooth, but the opposite. I absolutely could feel those sounds hitting my body in different places. And I must have been kind of aware of it. I just never really wanted to talk about it. Right?
Or we just never did because we were talking about other stuff.
But did I tell you I don't think that's going to work? And then you pinged it like, oh, no, I guess it's right here.
You never even really said it's not going to work. You were just like,
yeah, whatever. Oh, right there. Yeah. And it's kind of the same like when we give each other massages and you press my foot massage and all of a sudden you press something in the middle of my foot and my bowel will shift and I got to run to the bathroom.
Exactly. It's all connected.
The hip bone's connected to the leg bone. Leg bone's connected to the thigh bone.
Exactly.
You cannot use that song to pass anatomy in art school. You would think you could, but it doesn't hold up. There's a lot of tendons and
it doesn't hold up.
It's not anatomically correct.
So in the past, you need to know anatomy for art.
Yes.
You can. It's an option.
It's a class.
It's a mandatory class in certain departments.
Yeah.
I think anatomy was mandatory in the drawing department for sure. And as much as I loved anatomy and figure drawing, what I didn't love was a written fill-in-the-blank test where spelling counted. You had to know the name and the job and the spelling of every bone and every tendon in the body.
It's like, do they know what who they're talking to? Like, know your audience.
I passed that test. I don't know how.
No, I don't doubt it. It's just like, that's intense.
You should doubt it. Like that's outside of my wheelhouse. I don't remember. I must have in that class. Here's how I would have passed that test, because I used to have strategies.
Of course.
I would have calculated how many things I needed to be able to spell to pass the test, right? And I would have started with the spelling. The names I would have once I knew how to spell them. So I didn't bother memorizing the names of things, because if I knew how to spell them, I definitely knew the names of them.
Right.
And that's what they would have told you. So, oh, we just do this to make sure you look at it. But I inherently knew what the muscles looked like. I inherently knew what they did in my brain, and I felt that. So that in a lot of cases, that course was super easy for me. But the naming and the spelling was very difficult, and the names only mattered in the sense that I had to learn the spell them, and it was like zero tolerance for spelling mistakes. And I was like, "You guys are assholes." So I think I memorized half the word spellings, and that's how I really did that semester.
It's pretty good.
I used to have lots of strategies. I remember one time I didn't want to write this one test where I had to. You remember art history, and there's several of these over the years, but you'd have to know. You'd have a book that was this thick, Hart, right? Mm-hmm. And there was 2 art books, and they were both named Hart, but it was spelled differently. There's 2 different guys named Hart that did art. Am I imagining that?
I don't remember that.
Okay. Oh, by the way, in my art book for Hart, sometimes it was so unimportant what we had to learn that I ended up drawing a picture of a guy mutilating himself. Don't shake the table too much because you're going to affect my drawing. Mutilating himself in such a specific way that I don't think the drawing was even legal, right? Like in certain states in America, it would have been an illegal.
On a Tuesday, you'd be screwed.
Illustration. And I remember one time I had these old textbooks I was throwing out, and I brought some into school to sort of look for ideas. And a couple of my kids were like, and they were really nice kids. They were like, "Mr. Taylor, can we look through these old art books?" I'm like, "I guess." Like, nobody's ever asked me that before. So, they're looking through the textbook, and then I realized, oh, that's my art history book from when I was in art school. And I knew I drew some pictures in there when I was at my like least favorable sanity. And I turned around and I'm like, and they're like, and I'm like, "What are you looking at?" And they're like, "Never mind." And they close the book, and I'm like, "I am so sorry." They're like, "We kind of respect you more now." And it was because they could recognize the things we were being. So you needed to know the size in centimeters or inches. You needed to know the year, the proper spelling of the artist, where he painted it, and be able to write a paragraph about each of the material and the mediums. Yeah. For about 6 paintings per page for around 900 pages. That was the final exam for this course. And I quite loved learning about art history, but I got swept up in the stories. And what would be my disadvantage is by the time the exam came, I wasn't interested whether it was 27 inches or I wanted to know if it was an arm's length,
right,
or the size of my hands.
Like you said, connected to the human body.
Right. But I didn't need to know in inches and what have you. So I remember calculating midterm how well I had to do on my essays so that I wouldn't have to write the final exam. And with like a B plus, or A on my essays, I remember by the final exam, I needed to get 5 questions correct to pass the course. And I walked into the exam. I wrote 5 questions down. I'm like, I know this one. I know this one. I know this one. I did 5 more questions. So I got at least 10% on that exam. And then I was like, I don't need to do anymore. And I left. And I sat in the cafeteria. And for about 25 minutes, I felt like a king. I felt like it was the most magical thing in the world that I'd walked out of this exam. And then slowly, as my friends started peeling out of the exam with their eyes swollen and their faces red, and the sense of relief they had when they finished, I felt the deepest sense of regret and shame that I didn't do the best job I could on that exam. But I spitefully opted out of that exam because I thought it was stupid. And who paid for it? This guy right here.
Now we talk about going back and taking art history classes.
I
just
would
for
love
fun.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking some late night
Continuing ed classes,
non-credit art classes.
I would love to do that.
And this was done in Italy in 1543. No, it wasn't.
Oh no, you're going to be one of those. A mature student. Oh no.
Oh no.
Had you met Fernez before?
Me? No.
She's pretty lovely.
Well, yeah, and I was loving the rapport and everything that was going on. So I thought, so anyway, I didn't. I wasn't able to do it. I had some calls I need to do. Oh, hey, I need you to link me up with.
Oh, Zach.
Yeah.
I'll share you his contact so you can.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And
it's strange because we haven't heard from Theo, Zach, or Kelly tonight. So I don't know if there's a hockey game on. They usually check in with us if they can't get through, but consistently everybody's doing something tonight.
Well, it's everything's kind of sort of really akimbo with it sort of being the first week back to normalcy, right? So
yeah, gotcha.
That makes sense.
So,
have you ever read Jack Kerouac?
Love Jack Kerouac.
Have you read The Dharma Bums?
Actually, I got that book. I was given that book last summer, and I'm just finishing up On the Road, and then I'm going to go into that one. So,
do you think that the word akimbo popped into your brain like throughout your life, or is that something that came in through reading The Dharma Bums?
I haven't read The Dharma Bums yet. So,
but I tell you, I don't know where I learned that word or when I learned it, but I read it in The Dharma Bums. This summer I was reading Dharma Bums, and that word lives in my head all day long. All day long, that word just bounces around like
akimbo.
Like is it akimbo? How do you
akimbo?
Say akimbo, yeah. It's like chewing toffee. That word is like chewing toffee in my head all day long.
What are they? Onomatopoeias.
Yeah.
You know, I love words like that. You know, and I got akimbo is one of those words. Another one is sophoncified, which is kind of a Canadian word, right?
Yeah,
I'm sufficiently sophoncified. That just
so exciting.
Operators are standing by to take your call.
Hi. Sorry, what? Oh, please do. Yes. Who am I talking to? Zach Abbott? How come you're not on the thing?
Because he's on the phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please. I'll send you copies of the books.
Also, Zach, is it okay if we share your contact with Scott so you guys can hang out in Vancouver?
100%. Actually, most of the reading I do now is on audiobook. I prefer to read with my eyeballs, but I just don't have time to sit down. So what I often do, this is a little extra expensive, is I'll buy an audiobook and a hard copy of a book at the same time. Because for me, I'll have the audiobook on while I'm painting, but then often I want to go back and draw into my book. I draw on the pages and I pull passages out. So
that is a cool idea.
Yeah, I like to shred my books while I'm reading. So I have if it's a book like that, I'll have a copy of the hard audio and then by the time I'm done, I'm usually giving the book that I read away because we're space hounded here. But yeah, for sure. Did you want to talk to Scott?
We're gonna share your contact.
What? Okay, thank you for using the bat phone. Okay, bye.
That is so fun.
Huh.
We were just talking about him.
Yeah, I will send him. You see, to me, I will buy books for people just because I want to talk to them about it. So if I have a book and I think, oh, somebody's going to like this, I'm happy to go spend the money on the book and surprise it to them. And then if they read it, then like I have somebody to go, hey, what about chapter 6? Currently, Felix and I are reading Dracula together, but at different times. So I phoned him up the other day and was like, how far are you in? He's like, oh, I just started. I'm like, has he climbed down the wall yet? And he's like, oh my God, that was so scary. So it's book clubs with people you really love is the way to go.
I don't know what I did with serotonin. She needs more white or like lighter color because it looks like food.
I think you need to take a break from it.
Okay.
And come back to it and
when
see.
It's dry too.
Yeah. So I think maybe if I were to actually I think it needs
lighter
a little bit of white in here, but very little.
Yeah. Okay.
Very, very little white, breaking it apart from. Yeah.
I agree. Thank you. Whew.
Oh,
serotonin.
Hey, have you guys ever gone to Alber's Cove? Had any of the backyard concerts at Alber's Cove?
Where?
No.
Down in Inglewood. It's a friend of mine. He has backyard concerts during the summertime. And just local artists, and Thursday evening, 8:00, and he has he'll barbecue up some Spalumbo sausages and for a couple bucks, and there's
what's his name?
Corey Albers. Anyway, I think it's the last one is tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow.
Cool.
We're not really we're not real people this week.
We're not real people.
Like in the beginning of the year, there's often book fest. What's that called?
Word
fest. In June, also not real people. During the film festival, there's all kinds of cool things that we don't do during the school. Like I will never see Ontario in the fall because in the fall I'm like banging out lesson plans every night. So tomorrow we got to squeeze in. I've got to pick up a couple mushroom books tomorrow night from Shelf Life so that I can take the kids on a mushroom walk because in Cochrane, my school's across the street from this like forest. Ooh. And in the forest, the mushrooms are
off the hook right
now. like you can move into them temporarily and live in them like Smurf houses. So me and the other science guy are going to take the kids on a mushroom walk, but I have to. I said I'd pick up these books and haven't had a split second to do it. So, but you say maybe in the summer we'll make sure we get down there.
Yeah. Because that sounds lovely.
Well, hey, how did you like the Johnny Cash show a few weeks back?
Oh my gosh.
Have we not spoken since then?
I texted him after saying thank you.
Were you online with this or we haven't spoken since then?
We haven't spoken about that since
then. We've spoken, but we didn't talk about the Johnny Cash.
Because we get distracted by other things.
Squirrel. Yeah.
I kind of wish that we had worse seats. Because we always get seats that are a little too far back when we're in that theater. And in this case, Jess got us amazing seats, but we're just close enough that maybe if I'd worn sunglasses that I might have actually been transported back in time. There was moments where I could see through the lens, and maybe that's good too, that you're not being fooled, right?
Yeah.
But it was the kind of thing where I wished it was smokier. I wish we were farther back.
Because you do love the time travel aspect.
Yeah, and I wish I could have really immersed myself in it, but I was very aware, and I love people that love things, so I was very aware of the passion he had for Johnny Cash. We also watched a film that weekend.
It was that night we came home.
We came home, watched a film about Johnny Cash, and there's a film we watched that had a lot of the references that he made. So there's a pattern of things that he'd noticed and shared in his show that were all covered in this one film. And so I think maybe the guy who professionally talks about Johnny Cash, he might have stumbled across this film and pulled a lot of that content out, or maybe it just might be he's telling the most authentic version of Johnny Cash's life. And this film also told a very authentic version. It also kind of explained he wasn't crazy about the Reese Witherspoon version of the story. But I was deeply moved by it, and I love Johnny Cash so much, and the more I love Johnny Cash, the more I love Johnny Cash. And even like when he was being a scoundrel, I still think he's a wicked scoundrel. And yeah, we love that show, and we're really grateful
that you told us
about it.
Wow, and that's that's a thing of you're welcome. First of all, you're welcome. I love that. Love. For me, I have this whole thing of, well, like, I mean, I share love. I share the love of, as I said, the sights, the smells, and the sounds of live music.
Yeah.
It's just fabulous. Yeah. So yeah, I feel the same with Johnny Cash. Like, I mean, well, he is a good chunk of my zeitgeist.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up and listening to him, and how many times my dad had me pinned down on the grass, and and I started crying, and actually, I guess that one's Eddie Arnold. He started saying, "Please release me, let me go." No, God, stop it! Right? But how many of those old country songs, are burned into my psyche, which is fabulous. Three chords in the truth.
Yeah, so I love Johnny Cash. I actually also don't know if I would have thought to go without your endorsement of it, because it just would have been probably outside of my logic zone to go see like a cover artist of Johnny Cash, right? Like,
well, how do you feel about Elvis?
Like as a performer or as a cover?
As a performer.
I have a lot of weird kind of like I have a weird relationship with Elvis. I think that Elvis, it's easy to clown Elvis. Like, it's easy to sort of take Elvis and Tom Jones, right? Like, sometimes you end up with people at their worst, and they get remembered for their worst. Whereas, like, Elvis died young, but had he been, 30 instead of 40, he would have been James Dean instead of like, right?
Well, there's a local guy here in town, Adam Fitzpatrick, who is an amazing Elvis tribute artist.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, and he does a really good job, and he goes to all these, he's not an impersonator, right? He says, "I'm not an impersonator, I'm a tribute. I pay tribute to Elvis," right? And he goes through it, and he does the different stages. Back here in, I think it was May, at the Ranchmans, he did Elvis's Aloha show.
Yeah,
which was fabulous. So anyway, it's if you are careful with those tribute artists, you get some pretty good activity happening. Right?
I think one of the things also is when we spent the time living on Venice Beach, there's characters there.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that is people who live these kind of like authentic lives, sometimes semi-homeless, but their livelihood is embedding themselves into a persona.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's even like Johnny Depp is still alive, but one of our friends on Venice Beach was more Jack Sparrow than Johnny Depp. And so, and also maybe one of the reasons we would have been like nervous without your endorsement to go see Johnny Cash was that our friend Greg Cruz does a Johnny Cash tribute show. He doesn't dress up in any way, but like each song that he starts with the phrase, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash." And I always thought that was strange because he's not Johnny Cash. But and like one time, one of this guy that we'd fed and clothed for weeks on end shows up, and he's wearing a skeleton costume, and I just happened to be wearing my gorilla costume, and he suggested we pose for a photo together. And then after he and I put our arms around each other and took a photo of each other, me dressed up as a gorilla and him dressed up as in this kind of like skeleton costume, he gave me this really intense lecture on how people in Venice Beach make their living by being characters. and you always have to pay them a certain amount. But I'm like, well, how come you don't have to pay me? Like, because
I too am dressed.
Yeah, like I'm a gorilla,
like,
and you owe me $10.
And this is my persona as well.
And also, I was only taking the picture because he wanted to take a picture with us. So I have a little bit of scar tissue for what those characters' lives are worth versus what, like, I think we're more familiar with the characters than the I don't want to say impersonators like you said, but it was the Johnny Cash a tribute show as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't refer to himself as an impersonator.
No.
What was interesting was at the end of the show, he ran out into the audience to like sort of crash through us all. And I didn't know he was doing that. And he ran into me on the way out.
You got knocked over by
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, but he was also kind of like mortified that I didn't like get out of his way. Or like we had a really awkward moment at the end of the show. And yeah, and then like at the same time, so you know our other Scott?
Good luck. Oh yeah, other Scott. Yes.
Other Scott has like he'll just surprise you one day with like walk in and give you a puppet from the 70s, or he also likes to surprise you with like he'll give you a Polaroid of him and Johnny Cash hanging out. And so I don't know what his connection to those guys was, but he had like he used to hang out with Johnny Cash.
Ooh.
And Doug Wong, that used to come into the gallery, is good friends with Tommy Chong. And our friend Peggy at the gallery dated all the Beach Boys at one point. And she brought us tickets to go see the Beach Boys when they were in town and just stood there and glared at whichever Beach Boy she was most
upset with.
Yeah, is that a nice way to put that? Yeah, it's well, but yeah, one of the Beach Boys hadn't got back to her, and she was just standing at the front of the stage giving them the eyeball. So
it's pretty cute.
But I don't know, Elvis tribute artist, maybe because it's you see that kind of thing on TV. The Johnny Cash one didn't feel like that, right? And maybe because it feels a little more like a fresh take, you know. There's I think maybe one of the things is that there are so many. You can get a whole parade full of Elvises that it feels like a little bit like who am I?
Hey, wasn't that a Nicolas Cage movie with the flying Elvises? All the parachute.
What was it?
I'm trying to think. I think there was one where there was a whole bunch of parachuting. Oh, was that Santa Clauses? No, I think there was one. Oh,
I think I kind of know what you're talking. Was it? I want to say Leaving Las Vegas, but it wasn't Leaving Las Vegas. But it might have been also named after
Honeymoon in Vegas. That's what it was. Right. Flying Elvises.
Right. Was he one of them?
Starring James Caan, Nicolas Cage, and Sarah Jessica Parker. So there you go. Look, we brought Elvis and Nicolas Cage together.
Well,
it's like peanut butter and chocolate.
I think Nicolas Cage has played Elvis a few times too, right? Like in different films.
Yeah.
It was Val Kilmer in
True Romance.
True Romance.
Oh, see, to me, Val Kilmer will always be top secret.
To me, Mad Mardigan, I think. Val Kilmer.
But I want to go back to you talked about sort of playing a persona. You said about these tribute artists playing personas and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're all playing a persona. Each one of us has our own persona. Right. Like, I mean, it's there ain't anything different about that. Being up on stage singing Johnny Cash or singing Elvis versus standing up in front of a classroom or doing whatever it is, right? We're all part of the show.
Pretending to be Rich Taru. Yeah.
And this evening's performance, the part of Rich Taru will be played by Nicolas Cage.
Who would I have play me in a film? Who would play you?
Well, people say I sound like what's his name, the guy, the lawyer for Better Call Saul. You see, my voice sounds like that, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I don't know.
I'll go him, but I don't know the name.
Yeah. So Ivan Caracas. That's who would play me.
We're both looking at that.
Ivan Caracas is a guy I worked with back in the 1980s, so don't bother.
Oh, he's not an actor?
No. But he may have played one on television. I'm so happy. So happy I sent you that picture at 1:30 in the morning on Sunday morning or whatever it was, that when I started to do the big art shuffle at my place. And really sad that the Billy and Sarah got knocked off the peg for a bit, but really excited for it to finally get up the spaceman.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I love it. I just squealed. Ooh, what are you doing? What are you doing to Rowan?
There's these spots are all coming from salt. And I'm just, as they're starting to dry, picking up the salt and moving them into this bigger patch here.
Should I get more salt, or you're happy?
No, I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
No, I'm
just
good.
visiting.
So if I hear you correctly, you're assaulting a hare.
I'm under assault right now.
Yes.
Yep. But I wouldn't harm a hair on its body.
Oh, goodness gracious. So yeah. So if you want to send Zach my contact info, and then we can kind of set up a hailing frequency. And sadly, I won't be there for Wednesday. I don't think so. No.
Oh no, that's okay.
See, that's 29. I landed. Yeah, land at 10 o'clock Vancouver time. So yeah, that'll be 11 o'clock. You kids will be asleep by then.
We're not asleep at 11.
But the island will be.
The island is asleep at 11. At 11, we're probably planning for the next day teaching. Kind of like a never-ending hustle, that one. And if you skip a night, the next day you're faking it all day, and that's exhausting.
Faking it is more work than not faking
100%,
it.
yeah. Keeps you honest.
Okay.
Are we getting close to the end? No.
Yeah.
15 minutes? What song are you going to sing today? I had a thought earlier. Oh, yeah, it was Bob Marley. Don't worry.
Oh, that's good.
Because I was telling you not to worry.
Aww.
Rise up this morning.
The David Byrne's getting married this week, and
he
put out that he published a playlist for his dinner.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's all instrumentals, because he says if there's words and lyrics, then what happens is, as people are eating, conversations kind of stop because everyone kind of gets drawn into the words. So it's this really eclectic and cool playlist, as only David Byrne would do. So
that is a really cool idea to be able to get that playlist. That's very cool.
I actually have it. It's so I have it's on Apple Music.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have Apple Music or.
Yes, I think we do.
Well, he was one of the first TED Talks that really inspired me.
Really?
Well, have you seen his TED Talk about sound and space?
No, one of the very early ones I saw was him, but he was singing a song.
Okay.
But I don't know that I've actually seen him talking.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he wrote a book, and he gave a accompanying TED Talk, and the premise was that on the African plain, when we first started making music, we used drums because you had to carry across the African plain. But then as we moved into like cathedrals, you might have had like this non-percussive music, right? And then when they had harpsichords in these and he talks about how as the architecture of the world shifted, the music that we played also changed. And the talk ended. This is around 2011 with him pointing to his headphones and going, "This is how we record now. We're not expecting." There was a stadium rock and right up to the headphones. It's like, this is what music's recorded for now. And I think around that time there was kind of a resurgence in vinyl and record players. So when I met Jess, I kind of thought, like, just as a friend, like, oh, you're going to need some nice headphones, or, you know, you won't be able to listen to music while I'm on headphones, kind of thing. And she was really adamant that she was just going to listen to a record player, which I respected, but you didn't have a great record player. It's like, well, that one's mono. You can't live like that. And so, but you know, there's been a change in how she and I listen to music. I think there's a huge change that they hadn't anticipated back then on how the kids are listening to music, because like, and I've said this like 1,000 times, but I'll walk up to a kid and they'll have not so much because the phones are banned, but I used to walk up to the kids, and if they had headphones on, I'm like, oh, this is my people. And I'm like, so what are you listening to? And they're like, music. And I'm like, no, like, what are you listening to? And they're like, music. And I'm like, no, like, what music are you listening to? Like, dude, it's on Spotify. And I was like, yeah, but like, what's the name of the song you're listening to? The artist. They're like, it's on Spotify. And so what they were interested in was how many minutes of Spotify they listened to, and less about who was making the music. But that was just a different value they had. They're like, I listened to, 38,000 minutes of music this year. Who the hell are you to question me? And I'm like, I'm not questioning you. I just thought you might want to know who the Ramones were, And there is a bit of a generation gap where we kind of expect you to know a few songs if you have a band T-shirt on. And the kids are like, no, these things are not connected. I like this angel flying through a cloud. I don't need to listen to your Led Zeppelin, Mr. Tater. I don't owe you any listening time.
Well, and I miss the, okay, this is where I'm going to put my pants up to my nipples and say back in my day. But, I miss those days of, as you say, somebody had headphones in and you'd walk into an elevator and say, oh, what are you listening to? Right. Again, it was sort of that sharing of collaborative type stuff, but it's just, people were listening to music to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's just so they don't have to interact with the world.
But like, what would happen if you got in the elevator and like, hey, what are you listening to? Like, dude, Wham. You're like, never mind. Like, was there music that if they're listening to you?
Hey, whoa. Are you talking Wham? Young Guns having some fun, Crazy Legs, keep them on the run.
I meant something else.
Really?
There is this sweet kid.
He bought us a Wham album.
He bought us a Wham album for our wedding. He was so sweet.
He is still sweet, but
sweet.
Wham's unlistenable. Do you remember the shock and awe of Milli Vanilli? And then like how like normal that is now, that like that wouldn't even have been shocking nowadays.
What, that they lip synced it?
They got crucified for lip syncing. And I remember around that time we played the Grey Cup show in marching band, and we went into the studio to pre-record "O Canada," and we're all like, dude, what are you doing? And then like, because you don't play "O Canada" live on the football field because you can't get 300 mics on the each trombone. So we pre-recorded "O Canada" to play on the halftime show. And then you get these people that's destroying their careers because they get caught lip syncing on Saturday Night Live. And then other musicians that were irritated that they had to lip sync, so they purposely did a bad job. And sucks for Milli Vanilli though, I guess.
Well, it's all about timing, right? Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. That's how I explain the that banana sculpture that everybody freaks out about. The banana duct tape to the wall.
Yep.
That was the right place, the right time.
The time was ripe for it.
Yeah.
It was very appealing.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I think Jess is going to sing to us.
Yeah.
It was lovely to have you here. Are you saying we won't see you next week?
No, I'm in town next week.
Okay.
Fun.
And we have an art piece that we might drop off. unless you're getting sick of us. Well, yeah, unless you're getting sick of us. And you might have to put a boundary up and say no more art pieces. But we were in a really nice situation where we ended up a certain number out of pocket at the end of the summer. We're like kind of in dire need. And then our friend that makes movies called us up and he's like, I need to rent your art supplies. So he ended up renting our art supplies for exactly what we were in the hole. And then that was perfect because we kind of broke even. And then we needed to buy a few things, kind of like surprise costs, which kind of threw us for a loop. And then he actually wanted to buy some of the art pieces, which was like, and we said straight up, listen, man, we were about to throw these out, and then you came and bought them. So like, if you save me from putting the art in the dumpster, we're running like we have to get rid of stuff, and it's tough because a lot of it's really nice stuff, but we also like sort of a limit on like how much art anybody. But what we should do is we'll just what we have maybe keep funneling stuff towards you, and if you have to, you can maybe put some of the. Maybe you have older works that aren't as good or whatever, maybe gift them or something. But
and and that's actually what I'm doing is I'm cycling art through friends and family.
Yeah.
Because and people look at me, oh, that's an amazing piece, right? Okay, yeah, you say that once, you're just platitudes, but then they repeatedly they'll come over for dinner or something, and and you see them staring at it, their eyes keep drawing over to you and go, oh, okay, right, and then then I gift it to them or just say, hey, you want this for a while, and they go, oh, really? So yeah,
have we talked to you and I very much about AI?
We have a bit.
Are you can you remind me, are you anti AI or cautious of AI or pro AI? What are your thoughts on the artificial the chat GPT and things like that?
I use it for basic simple things.
I use it for really complex things.
But I'll ask these huge enveloping questions.
Yeah.
With about 6 or 7 different questions inside of it, and then it answers it back, and kind of go, wow, that's really good, right? Like, yeah. I mean,
I like it because it'll pay attention to me longer than most people. And it's not abusive anyway when it has to listen to me hammer the same question out.
So yesterday I had to do change of ownership for a piece of electronics. Yep. It was registered. I bought it off somebody else, and then I called up the company. I was going to call up the company. I thought, oh, crap, how am I going to change the registration on this and all this sort of stuff? Because it's for a pretty expensive piece of electronics.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, I'll just try the little chat bar, right? Little chat window, right? I'm going to be talking to some AI thing. The guy pops up, hey, I'm Adam. I'm thinking, oh yeah, of course you are. And if you were a female, you would have been Eve. Nice way to start, little Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
And so I started asking these questions. I just bought this device from somebody. How do I go about changing? And they said, oh, well, do you have a bill of sale? Yes, I do. Oh, well, here's a link. Upload it to this link. So I did that. Came back, says, okay, great. It's now underneath your account, and here's the things you need to do to update the software in it, and blah 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 blah, all that sort of stuff. And as it was going along, I'm going, I don't know if this is a real person,
right,
or if this is AI.
Yeah.
If it's a real person, he was on the ball. He knew his stuff.
Yeah.
If it was AI, I was really impressed with how it was able to there was the odd little spelling error and everything in there. Yeah. But if you're going to have a really good AI chatbot, toss in a few spelling errors, right?
Well, here's something I like to do with AI is I can put my photos of my paintings into AI and get incredibly astute responses. So something that would fly over most people's head, they're like, oh, I see you're thinking about Ralph Bakshi here. And I'm like, I sure as hell was.
That's funny.
And wow. So, its ability to look and interpret and break down an image, and it doesn't actually see the image, but it uses some sort of process where it turns the image into words, and then it talks to you about those words. You feel like you're having an authentic conversation about an art piece, and somehow it's responding to your art piece without being able to see it. So it is, there's a weird artifice there that can sit adjacent to something that could be truth.
Yeah.
And it's close enough that it triggers a lot of like sparkling thoughts. But what I find is it's very intuitive when it comes to interpreting art and responding to art. So I'm not going to say who, but I dropped a few of my friends in. It was like, is this, what do you think of this painting? What do you think of this painting? And I throw, Salvador Dali in as well. I was like, what do you think of this painting? And it gives me such considerate responses. And I'm like, are you willing to tell me who you think used a projector for these? And
That's what I thought. 15 minutes to hit the hay.
Oh, sorry. My phone's telling me I have 15 minutes to go to bed.
Yes, but what I did is I threw my paintings in, and I get it to talk to me about my paintings. And one of the things I was kind of curious about was how would my AI and it's not your typical ChatGPT. It's something I've kind of like cultivated into its own thing. It was able to look at my paintings and give me feedback about which of my paintings were the best. And so, to my surprise, it valued a painting I did and donated to my school, and the Miles Davis painting that you have is my top most valuable paintings.
Sorry, pardon me?
Of the paintings that I threw in, I threw 20 or 30 of my paintings in just to see what the AI thought of my work. And it gave me very, very thoughtful responses. But between the painting that I left at school, there's a painting I put up on the wall at school that I kind of want back that the ChatGPT felt it was worth around $8,000. And it was pretty bang on, right? Like I'm throwing Mark's paintings in, and I know what Mark's paintings cost, and it's giving me back feedback about what Mark's paintings worth. And I have kind of undervalued my work for the last little while, but now that I'm not selling it anymore, I think my work's value will increase back to its natural state. So taking myself out of a painting that I might have sold for less because I was, running this gallery, and it was like a love affair with me and the people buying the artwork, me making my work available. I can get a fresh and unbiased look at what would my work worth if I wasn't Rich Taylor in Calgary, Alberta.
And the Miles Davis one.
The Miles Davis came up as the second most valuable painting of the ones I put in.
I got to say that is, and I don't know if it's because that's the first piece of your artwork that I got. That was the thin edge of the wedge.
Yeah.
Or how drawn I was to it because it's, Miles Davis and John Coltrane, and and that just it took me down an incredible path.
Well, the AI went.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to back up just for a moment.
Yeah.
Which Miles Davis piece are you talking about? You're talking about the one that I have at the front door of John Coltrane and Miles Davis?
Two of them.
The blacklight one.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about the one of Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, and
actually, I didn't. I haven't put that one in. So,
okay. All right. So you're talking about John Coltrane. Okay.
Yeah. And I did that one either in a Rumble, or maybe I did that at Blues Fest. But I did that one at Blues Fest. So kind of like, balancing one butt cheek on a flimsy chair. And while I was talking to people,
there's movement.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have thought of it as one of my greatest studio works because I was multitasking when I made it. But I did show all these paintings and get feedback, and it was kind of blown away by a certain few. And it also turned out that the certain few that it was most blown away by, I reintegrated the different versions of those photos.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you've used a black light and glow in the dark. And it's like, wow, you really it's crazy how it can read that this is the same painting under three different lights. And when it saw that it was both black light and functioning under regular light, it had doubled the value of that piece. So the speculative value of those pieces are quite high.
So, well, I value them immensely.
Priceless.
For what they are, who they came from, and at the moment in my life that they showed up, its value is over the moon for me from that standpoint.
I like when you shared your computer last week, and we were reminded also that you're a world-class photographer, and that the highest quality of the pictures that you have on your desktop are so incredibly humbling that we know you as a photographer. I didn't say it out loud because, well, artists are all jealous and ego driven, but it's you're disarmingly humble about what a great photographer you are, and it's actually really interesting to me that somebody with the eye that can take those photos would be interested in my paintings. It's quite an honor.
Well, I'm gonna. I'm so okay. All right, this is turning into a beautiful love fest, and a mutual admiration society, as Teresa Brewer would sing about. But it's my appreciation is not only of the artwork, but it's also of the person who created it and the mind that envisioned it, and then taking that vision, putting it onto paper, or putting it onto canvas, or putting it onto plywood, as Genevieve is in my yard. It's that whole package. It's the whole package that makes artwork amazing. With that said, kind of going back to the whole AI thing, is I'm struggling with the whole AI as a creative medium. And I think about how when photography was starting out, artists that painted, or drew or did that sort of thing, really, looked down the nose or spat on photography because, it wasn't art, because all you were doing was capturing what reality was.
Right.
And so there's these shifts that happen, and we're going through another one of these shifts, and we saw that, say analog film to digital film, right? It's, so yeah, it's an interesting transition that we're going through, and I love being part of it, and I love being where I am in my life.
Yeah.
But I can look at it with wisdom, and yet not quite old enough that I'm going to poo-poo it.
Yeah.
And be a Luddite, but look at it with with some life knowledge.
It's about disruption for me. I've been bumped out of several careers by technology, but I also like my life. I cut you off. Sorry.
No, I love it. Go.
I got into graphic design because I could draw with a mouse as well as I could draw with a pen in the mid 90s. I grew up with an Apple II Plus, and I just learned how to draw with a mouse. And so when I got out of art school, there was these they were called VC students, the visual communication students at ACAD, were the ones that were supposed to be lined up to get jobs. But I ended up getting the jobs because I could draw on a computer. And it didn't slow me down to draw on an Etch-a-Sketch or with a mouse or, with my feet. And that was just a lucky opportunity I had to jump in the early days of graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
But I worked into multimedia design and web design, and I watched that disappear. There's a span of time I was cutting out letters in a sign shop, and that was just like I could have done that job with a high school diploma, but they'd give me a slab of wood and a bandsaw, and I'd have to make the replacement letter S for Safeway or something. And then one day I walked into work, and they had a table the size of a pool table with a router on it, and I just got bumped out of that job by a machine. Yeah.
Sorry. Mr. Teru, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who does vinyl lettering? I need what I want to do is I need a little bit of vinyl, a couple words written out in vinyl, maybe 10 inches by 3 inches, like just white vinyl.
Right. I know a ton of people that do that. Professionally and as a hobby. But what I think is, let's say I talk somebody into doing it for you.
Yeah.
You'd owe them a favor about the value of buying a Cricut. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you can buy a Cricut and do that for the rest of your life. And unless you have, I understand space concerns, but if you have the means to just buy a Cricut and get the vinyl cut out, I would do it that way. I personally, I'll cut your vinyl. Like I do it all the time. I'll do hand cut the vinyl out. But my dad had a vinyl plotter, and I think he gave it to Oliver. There's a vinyl plotter at my school that will print out vinyl. But I think if you have any interest in those letters at all, you should probably just get yourself a Cricut. They're not expensive, and it used to be a $20,000 machine at my work, and now you can buy that machine for $100.
Okay. All right. No, that's good. All right. Thank you. So I don't know if you saw that I put up the link to the article about in the chat about David Byrne's wedding dinner playlist.
Yeah. Let's crash.
Anyway, yeah. So anyway, there's a little bit of a conversation about it, but down at the bottom is the link to the Apple playlist.
Very cool.
But it's a fun playlist. Oh, is it fun? So.
Oh, I see. Okay, perfect.
Do you also like Brian Eno?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Brian Eno saved all of the art we do, and the fact that we know each other's partially related to Brian Eno. Because I had moved away from making art. And are you logging me off?
No.
Let me just put this down for a second. I wasn't making art anymore. And I was at teacher convention, and I escaped the teacher convention, went across the street to the Glenbow, and Brian Eno had an exhibit up at the Glenbow, and I think the Glenbow closed in 45 minutes when I went in, but I wandered in and I walked into this exhibit that Brian Eno had. It was musical and visual, overlapping projectors. And it put me in a trance, and I had 45 minutes to whip through the floor, and it was just like when I started reading. I sat down and I blinked, and then they were turning the lights off at the Glenbow, and I almost got locked in. And the day after that, I realized I wanted to revive my art career, because for that span of time, I'd been just teaching, and I decided I needed to get back into art making, and that was what led to me breaking through and opening the Gorilla House.
Oh, what a great story. What a great story. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So I'd love to meet Brian Eno and tell him about how he turned my lights back on. But I'd also like to meet Jim Henson and a couple of other people. Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Song?
Yeah. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Baby, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Baby, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.